You would never guess. This is definitely the most tragic transmigrator in history. He took over the body, only to find his talent was absurdly poor. 3 years without breaking through body tempering second layer. No talent, no ability, no system, and targeted by school bullies. The homeroom teacher advised him to drop out. Classmates mocked him. He practiced boxing alone after school until dark. On his way home, he was cornered by a Shadowless Cat beast. The Shadowless Cat's claws were 3 inches long. One claw pierced his abdomen. He slowly fell. Ding! Detected host facing a beast. Marrow cleansing and Meridian transformation are activating. Not only did the abdominal wound heal instantly, his strength directly broke through body tempering second layer. Ding! Passive skill combat master activated. Countless combat techniques instantly engraved into his bones. His eyes turned cold. He threw a punch back, hitting the Shadowless Cat's jaw, slamming the Shadowless Cat into the wall. Then a storm of combos. Beat the beast to death. Are you ready to witness this comeback? Time went back a few hours earlier. On the training ground, the force meter displayed a row of numbers. 180 kilograms. I lowered my eyelids and stared at the data. But at that moment, someone in the field sneered. Still the same old crap. Shinyanian, you have trained for 3 years, and still have not broken through body tempering second layer. If I were you, I would have given up long ago. Everyone looked at me when they heard this, then silently shook their heads. In the distance, a few guys with their arms crossed leaned against the wall, faces full of mockery. One of them, with a slanted fringe, directly took a photo with his phone, muttering to himself, I will send this to the group chat for everyone to laugh at. I let out a breath, and did not bother to defend myself. After all, the facts were right there. Anything I said would be a joke. 200 kilograms. The passing line for body tempering second layer. I was a full 20 kilograms short. Ever since I transmigrated 3 days ago, I had taken over this body. But my talent was ridiculously poor. Then I recalled the world background. 30 years ago, a catastrophe swept the globe. That disaster was called the Beast Calamity. A massive number of beasts emerged. The powerful ones could even destroy countries. Later, Rihang established order. High schools set up martial arts classes to cultivate talents to fight beasts for the country. Everyone could awaken an ability at 18. Abilities varied greatly. Fire control, lightning, beast souls, quality ranging from SSS to F. Martial arts and abilities complemented each other. Martial talent was equivalent to ability talent. But I had nothing. No martial talent. No ability awakening. And no system. Is there no justice? Just as I was complaining, one of the group of guys stepped forward. He was 9 meters tall, standing in front of me. I had to look up to meet his eyes. Li Boliang looked down at me, as if looking at trash. He was not wearing a school uniform, but the training suit awarded by the school, with 6 silver lines embroidered on the cuff, representing body tempering 6th layer cultivation. In the entire class 7 of senior 3, those who earned 6 silver lines, numbered fewer than 100 in the whole school. Li Boliang patted my shoulder. Not hard, like comforting someone. Then he smiled and said, Shinyanian, tomorrow is the awakening. Given your talent, you will not get a good ability. You will probably be transferred to the regular class. After speaking, he turned and walked away. Though it sounded encouraging, it was full of sarcasm. I sighed helplessly. I never expected school bullying to fall on my head. It started in freshman year, when I accidentally saw them bullying a classmate in the restroom. I was urinating at the time, and was forced to use the gun-shaking technique, accidentally spraying my shoe. So I could not help but click my tongue. Just that one sound. And they targeted me. What was worse, the one being bullied that day, was the guy with the slanted fringe. The homeroom teacher, Wang Yue, stood nearby, watched for a long time, and finally sighed. Then he called me to a corner. He was in his 40s, with deep wrinkles on his face. Rumor had it, he was also an ability user in his youth. Later, he was severely injured in a secret realm cleanup. His cultivation regressed, and most of his meridians were ruined. So he retired to teach martial arts. His tone was persuasive. Shinyanian, you really have no talent. Even if you awaken, it will be a low-level ability. If it were not for the policy, you would not even be able to enter the martial arts class. An ordinary student can break through body tempering second layer in 3 months. But you have trained for 3 years, and are still stuck in the same place. Do you still not understand? I kept my head down and said nothing. His words might have been correct, but giving up on abilities meant giving up any chance to turn things around. Wang Yue took out an agreement and shoved it into my hand. Voluntary withdrawal from martial arts class agreement. Maybe transferring to the regular class would stop Li Boliang from bothering you. He comes from a powerful family. You cannot afford to provoke him. I am sorry. I clutched the agreement in my hand, then helplessly let it go. There was no way around it. My talent ceiling was right there. Other people's meridians were like streams. Mine were like clogged sewers. with the same techniques and res. Horses. Others could complete a cycle in 2 hours. I needed 2 days or more. But if I did not cultivate, what else could I do? Go back to the assembly line and eventually die from overwork. The school bell rang. Students left in 2s and 3s. As Li Boliang left, he looked back at me. That look was all too familiar. In my past life, the assembly line foreman looked at trash the same way. After a long time, the training ground emptied. I stood alone in the center, took a deep breath, and assumed the starting stance of basic boxing. Over and over again, maybe by tempering my body, I could awaken a high-level ability. It was not until dark that I dragged my numb body out of the training ground. 12 years of hard study and training, all for the chance to rise. But when I saw the banner at the school gate, there was no excitement in my heart. Then I took a winding path into a dark, narrow alley. This was the old district of the city. The buildings were all from the previous era. The streetlights in the alley were broken and never repaired, so almost no one walked there. But I was not afraid. After all, if someone wanted to rob me, I would need to have money first. I was a penniless nobody. My pockets were cleaner than my face. Would they take my kidney? Rihang had protection laws, specifically for high school students. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. Other transmigrators started with high points, good talent, deep backgrounds, or at least had a system to rely on. Why did I get nothing? Is this not bullying an honest person? I raised my middle finger at the heavens. Suddenly, a series of footsteps echoed. I stood still, because I had not taken a single step. I whipped my head around. The alley was empty, and the footsteps stopped abruptly. The night wind blew a trash bag. I frowned, and did not think it was an illusion. So, without blushing or skipping a beat, I shouted loudly. I am from the martial arts class of Linshur No. 3 High School. Li Boliang, ranked 21st in the school, backed by the Li Martial Arts Group. May I ask what business you have, fellow cultivator? As soon as I finished speaking, a light sound came from the distant wall. All the hairs on my body stood on end. That was the sound of claws scraping against the wall. I turned and ran, not hesitating for a second. But after a few steps, a black shadow jumped down from the wall, blocking my path 3 meters ahead. It was a half-meter tall black cat, its eyes glowing red, its claws extended 3 inches long, its fur stained with dark brown blood. I cursed under my breath. Bad news. A first-rank beast, Shadowless Cat. An adult Shadowless Cat was at body tempering 9th layer. A casual strike could collapse a building. Fortunately, this one was just a juvenile. Its strength was about body tempering 3rd layer. I calmly analyzed the situation, but cold sweat kept dripping. What advantage? Even at body tempering 3rd layer, it was beyond my ability to handle. What troubled me even more was that the Shadowless Cat was known for its speed. There was no way to escape. Rihang, you guys, better keep an eye on these beasts. The Shadowless Cat grinned, revealing 2 rows of sharp teeth. A low growl came from its throat. The next moment, it pushed off the ground, turning into a black blur, almost flying close to the ground. I did not even have time to react. A tearing pain shot through my abdomen. Its claws pierced through my stomach. Blood gushed out like a burst dam. I clenched my teeth, forcing the scream back down, bracing through the pain. I pushed myself up. The Shadowless Cat did not rush to attack. It crouched 5 meters away, tilting its head to look at me, its eyes full of mockery and amusement. Just then, a cold mechanical voice sounded. Ding. Detected host facing a beast. Passive system activating. Activation successful. Host Shinyanian. Current realm body tempering 1st layer. Newbie gift pack has been distributed. After shock, I was ecstatic, holding my forehead and laughing wildly. I made it. I actually made it. The system was a bit late, but it finally arrived. My era has come. I let out a long breath, a grin spreading across my face as I called out. System. Open. Reverse the situation. Newbie gift pack opened successfully. Obtained full body marrow cleansing and healing. As the words fell, I felt something explode inside me. A warm current surged from my dantian, rushing through my meridians to my limbs. What shocked me even more was that the wound in my abdomen was healing at a visible rate. In just a few breaths, it completely disappeared. Not even a scar remained. The warm current continued to flow deeper, cleansing my bones, meridians, and flesh. The impurities accumulated over 16 years were slowly being forced out. I could clearly feel my bones becoming harder and denser, my meridians becoming wider and smoother. The bottleneck that had troubled me for 3 years was broken through by spirit energy as easily as drinking water, breaking through to body tempering 2nd layer. Congratulations, host. You have obtained 1 chance to draw a passive skill. I opened my eyes and looked at my hands. Everything felt completely different. With talent now, it was time to draw a skill. Start drawing passive skill. A wheel spun deep in my consciousness, faster and faster, turning into a stream of light. Golden legend. Draw successful. Obtain passive skill combat master. Quality gold. Skill description. When unarmed, possess exceptional combat skills. Have extremely high talent for learning martial techniques. Just as I was checking the skill, the Shadowless Cat had already pounced silently, its claws glinting coldly in the moonlight. A strange curve formed at the corner of my mouth. Little kitty, that is not very nice. At the moment of contact, a vast flood of information poured into my mind. The essence of countless combat techniques. Wing Chun, boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai. Various schools merged in my consciousness, becoming instinct carved into my bones. When I opened my eyes again, the world had changed. I could clearly see the Shadowless Cat's attack trajectory. My mind instantly simulated over a dozen counterattack methods. My eyes turned cold. I shifted my body slightly to the left, perfectly dodging the cat's pounce. My right fist clenched, hips and waist driving the power. A straight punch aimed at its face. My left foot paused slightly. A knee strike was already ready. The Shadowless Cat sensed my intention, twisting its body oddly to dodge. I seized the fleeting opportunity, abandoned the feint, sidestepped and dropped low, and threw a punch, landing precisely on the Shadowless Cat's jaw. The cat's half-person-sized body was sent flying by the punch. It tumbled twice and crashed into the wall. Just as it tried to scramble up, a figure suddenly appeared before it. I had silently arrived in front of it. My right hand passed through its face and grabbed for its neck. The Shadowless Cat instinctively dodged left, but I had vanished. Before it could react, its chest felt like it had been hit by a sledgehammer. I turned, leaped, and back-kicked, using my waist as the axis, sending my shoulder and elbow, a right hook to the cheek. A storm of blows rained down on the Shadowless Cat. Blood dripped from my fists. Falling to the ground, I slowly let out a breath, discarding the cat's shredded corpse. So this is Combat Master. A bit ruthless. Then I straightened my clothes and slowly walked toward home. I needed to study the newly acquired system carefully. As for the dead Shadowless Cat, Rihang would handle it. It was the organization established after the spirit energy resurgence, specifically to deal with beasts. My parents, when I was 10, died in a beast calamity, leaving me only an old apartment in the old district, and over $1 million in compensation. It seemed like a lot, but not really. A single alloy longsword cost $300,000. Enhancement potions started at $1 million. It could barely cover daily expenses. Back home, I took off my bloodstained shirt. The skin on my abdomen was smooth and intact, as if the wound had never happened. After a shower, I sat cross-legged on the bed and called up the system panel. Host Shinyanian. Realm Body Tempering, 2nd layer. Passive Skill Combat Master. Realm Progress, 22%. Did I not just break through? How is there already progress? The system displayed a line of text. Beasts contain natural spirit energy. Killing them allows absorption of that energy to enhance cultivation. I nodded thoughtfully. Similar to leveling up by killing monsters in games. The Shadowless Cat was only body tempering 3rd layer, so it only gave 2% progress. But if killing beasts made me stronger, I could completely give up traditional cultivation and focus solely on hunting beasts. That was good news. How do I get passive skills? Every time you increase your realm, you get 1 draw chance. Breaking through a major realm also allows an upgrade. According to the UN realm classification, body tempering, chi condensation, silver transformation, glass, jade heart, white jade, divine. 6 realms, each with 10 layers. That means I can have 59 passive skills, 5 of which can be upgraded. Passive skills also have quality tiers. Quality tiers are color, red, gold, purple, blue. Combat Master is gold, which is only average. If gold is already this strong, if I draw color, would I not take off immediately? After studying the system, I made plans for the future. Since killing beasts improves cultivation, secret realms were the top choice. The highest in Linshire was B rank. With my current strength, I certainly would not choose that. Tomorrow is the school's comprehensive test, Ability Awakening, followed by the college entrance exam. I calmed my excitement and went to bed. Ability Awakening. Here I come. The next morning, before dawn fully broke, I carried my backpack and headed to school. Today was the Ability Awakening ceremony, and the most important moment of my life. A good Ability Awakening meant crossing social classes. Passing by the alley from yesterday, I glanced and almost imperceptibly, the blood on the ground was gone. A few repairmen floated in the air, releasing faint blue electric arcs from their hands. I could not help feeling confused. The streetlight had been broken for so long. Why fix it only now? Then I suddenly noticed 2 people were standing beneath the repairmen. When did they get there? Why had I not noticed them just now? I only glanced once, then used my peripheral vision to study them. A girl with sharp eyebrows and heroic spirit. Adjusted the judgment sword at her waist. Her cold gaze fell on me. My hair stood on end instantly. My steps faltered slightly. but I forced myself to stay calm. Walking to a breakfast stall near by, I greeted the owner familiarly. Uncle Yang, the usual. 1 portion of rice rolls, 5 meat buns, 2 cups of soy milk. Coming right up. Then I casually found a place to sit and openly looked toward the alley. Uncle Yang, what is going on with that alley? Why are they repairing the street light so early in the morning? Uncle Yang was in his 40s. After putting down the rice rolls, he wiped his apron and said, a beast slipped in yesterday, but it was already killed. Right in that alley you mentioned. A beast. I drew in a cold breath. There did not seem to be any commotion yesterday. Was Rihang that quick? Uncle Yang shook his head. It was not done by Rihang. Someone found the Shadowless Cat this morning and called the police. They arrived later. Then who did it? Does our old district have someone like that? Taking on a Shadowless Cat alone. That is impressive. I raised an eyebrow toward the girl and asked curiously, who are those 2 people? Uncle Yang shrugged. I do not know, probably important people. They were the ones who asked for the streetlight to be fixed. My gaze was unabashed. As I sized up the girl, I was not worried. I was just a bystander. What was there to fear? Beautiful. When a girl lowers her head and does not see her toes, she is already a beauty beyond compare. Of course, do not get the wrong idea. Lowering her head and not seeing her toes does not mean a generous chest. But when the girl lowers her head, that flustered heart and blushing face, that is true beauty beyond compare. After finishing the rice rolls, I packed up the leftovers. Before leaving, I even nodded. As a greeting to the girl furrowed her brows. Her gaze displeased, gripping the judgment sword at her waist, as if she was about to draw it the next second. But a pipe tapped down, making her flinch and withdraw her hand. What are you doing? What are you doing? He only looked at you a few times. And you want to draw your sword and hurt someone. Is looking at you against the law. A worn-out-looking old patrolman took a deep drag from his pipe and exhaled a faint smoke. It was him. Who killed the Shadowless Cat yesterday? The girl said in a low voice. The old patrolman nodded. So what do you want to do? The girl lowered her head and thought for a moment. According to procedure, he should be brought back for questioning. If his record is clean, give him a banner. The old patrolman yawned and walked away without looking back. Forget the procedure. Check his background. If clean, just give him the reward directly. I will rest for a while. The girl looked at the old patrolman's back, hesitating to speak. Soon I arrived at school. In the classroom of Class 7, Senior 3, students gathered in 2s and 3s, all talking about the beast incursion. Although the beast's level was not high, an incursion into the city was rare, happening once in over 10 years. I kept my head down and walked through the crowd, thinking about the identities of those 2 people. But some people just love to cause trouble. Oh, is this not classmate Shin? A hoarse voice came from the side. Without looking, I knew it was the slanted fringe. I could not be bothered and kept walking. As the saying goes, it is easy to avoid the king of hell, but hard to deal with the little demons. The slanted fringe followed persistently. I heard that yesterday in the old district, a beast appeared, a first-rank beast. It killed 3 or 4 people. If classmate Shin ran into it, what do you think would happen? He looked at Li Boliang ingratiatingly. As a lackey, he always had to put me down. If he did not do that, he might be bullied again. By Li Boliang. I guess, not to mention killing it. If he did not go weak in the knees, he would already be brave. Li Boliang said sarcastically. The other lackeys nearby laughed when they heard this. I looked up at Li Boliang and asked in confusion. I do not understand why you put me down. What is the purpose? Does it make you look noble? Or do you have some special fetish? Li Boliang was stunned. The weakling he could bully at will dared to talk back to him today. He was about to speak, but I cut him off. Actually, I have studied a bit of psychology, and there is an explanation for your situation. A desire for power and control, a lack of empathy, low self-esteem and self-identity crisis. I looked left and right, then reached out and patted his shoulder. Let me guess, do you have an older brother with a higher realm, better talent than you, and your parents do not treat you well? They even think that with their excellence. How could they have produced a waste like you? Li Boliang's shoulders sank from the pat, his eyes burning with anger. His words stuck in his throat, and he fell silent. The slanted fringe pointed at me and spoke first. Shinyanian, listen to what you are saying. Brother Li's talent is how much higher than yours. How dare you say such things? Many were gloating. But apart from Li Boliang's group, no one would come out to provoke. Some students with average talent also whispered among themselves, as if stepping on someone else made themselves better. Beggars only envy other beggars who earn a few hundred more. They do not envy millionaires and sports cars. I lifted my eyelids and cast a cold glance at the slanted fringe. I have had enough of you for a long time. The slanted fringe felt uncomfortable under my gaze and started speaking sarcastically. Why are you so petty? You get worked up after a few words. Is what I said not true? You guys should leave. My second personality is about to revive. Leave, why should we? The slanted fringe was at body tempering 3rd layer. Though not top tier, his opponent was only at body tempering 1st layer. So he was not afraid at all. Seeing this, I said no more, and directly leaped into a windmill punch start. The advantage of the windmill punch was full power, great power, and long range. But the disadvantage was the obvious intent to attack, making it easy for the opponent to dodge. But combined with combat master footwork, its speed was astonishing. In the blink of an eye, my whole center of gravity was like a drawn bowstring, and I threw a punch straight at the slanted fringe's face. The slanted fringe did not react at all. A fist was rapidly enlarging in his field of vision. Boom. A dull thud exploded in the classroom. The slanted fringe was sent flying, spinning 2.5 times in the air, crashing onto the desk behind him. Because the hook punch hit his face, blood poured from his nose like it was free, his cheeks swollen like a pig's head. Me. The slanted fringe stuttered in pain. You what me what? Say another word, and I will throw another punch. No, I was wrong. I was wrong. The sudden scene left everyone stunned. The classroom fell silent instantly. No one dared to speak, all staring at me in shock. What just happened? Body tempering 3rd layer was taken down by one punch from me. Was it not said that after 3 years of training, he had not broken through body tempering 2nd layer? But that punch just now clearly looked like body tempering 3rd layer, or even close to the 4th layer threshold. Li Boliang's face darkened instantly. He squinted at me, his tone laced with anger. Shinyanian, are you tired of living? As the saying goes, if you hit the dog, you look at the owner. Hitting his lackey in front of him was a direct insult to him. I shook my hand in disgust, looked up at Li Boliang, a slight smirk forming at the corner of my mouth. You want to try too? Now that I have the system, why should I take this crap from you? You bastard. Li Boliang was about to lose it, but he sensed a change in my aura. I glanced up at him, my eyes clear and full of confidence. Li Boliang's heart skipped a beat. His intuition told him something was at least 12 kinds of wrong. But when he thought about it carefully, he could not figure out what. Body tempering 1st layer. Even if he broke through last night, he would only be at body tempering 2nd layer. He himself was at body tempering 6th layer, and he had family inherited combat techniques. The advantage was his. Huh. Very well. Li Boliang clenched his fists. Since you want to try, I will grant your wish. He stepped forward, a sharp aura erupting around him. I only glanced once. Combat Master instantly caught all of Li Boliang's weaknesses. He was 4 realms above me, but his stance leaned right, and he was used to starting with his right fist. Though his lower body was stable, his right knee had an old injury. To take him out of the fight, a low tie kick would easily break his balance. I adjusted my breathing and lowered my center of gravity. Who releases their aura before a fight? I attacked with 0 startup. How could you dodge? I twisted my waist and hips, my left leg like a whip, kicking toward Li Boliang. Just then, the classroom door pushed open. What are you all doing? A robust voice came through. Everyone turned to look. A burly middle-aged man stood outside, with a stern face, wearing a black combat suit and combat boots, carrying a silver-white metal case. Beside him stood the homeroom teacher, Wang Yue. But my left leg did not stop at all. A gust of wind carried the whip kick, sweeping toward Li Boliang's supporting leg. Li Boliang lost his balance and fell flat on his face. Everyone was stunned. Wait, you are serious? Li Boliang got up angrily and was about to teach me a lesson. But the middle-aged man shouted, "Go back and sit down." The students quickly scattered back to their seats, pretending nothing had happened. Li Boliang spat and glared at me fiercely. Lowering his voice, he said, "You got lucky." I scoffed, calmly withdrew my left leg, and returned to my seat, my eyes fixed on the metal case. Finally, it is time to awaken. I wonder what ability I will awaken. Everyone sit down. Wang Yue walked to the podium and scanned the room, seeing the desks and chairs on the floor, and the slanted fringe's sorry state. He frowned slightly, but did not ask further. Do I need to say what day it is today? The awakening agent has been distributed. Everyone will come up for an injection, and after 10 minutes, we will test to determine the type and quality of your ability. Wang Yue tapped the desk, his tone turning serious. Do not be nervous. After the injection, accept the energy calmly. It is normal to feel pain. All right, come up when your name is called. The middle-aged man entered the password. Opened the case. White cold air billowed out, revealing pale blue syringes. First, Li Mingwei. Second, Dong Qijing. 35th, Shin Yanian. Everyone received their syringes, eagerly injected themselves. Then their skin turned red, like boiled shrimp, steaming heat rising from their bodies. They writhed on the ground in pain. Close call. This is not the bodybuilding world. Otherwise, there would be bad news. I hesitated for a moment, closed my eyes, and injected myself in the chest. Let us do this. The pale blue liquid entered. It was not as painful as I imagined. It even felt a bit comfortable. What is going on? Sir, the one I injected. Could it be fake? The experienced middle-aged man clearly had never seen this situation before. So he called his superiors for instructions. Just as I was confused, the system notification sounded. The system would provide the answer. Breakthrough to body tempering 3rd layer. Breakthrough to body tempering 4th layer. Breakthrough to body tempering 5th layer. Congratulations, host. You have obtained 3 chances to draw a passive skill. I saw the prompt on the system panel. 3 chances to draw a passive skill. I could not help grinning wildly, unable to suppress it. Although I did not feel any ability awakening, breaking through 3 realms in a row, the exhilaration was undeniable. What was more important was the 3 extra draws. I rubbed my hands together excitedly. It was time for the tense and thrilling draw again. If I could draw gold or higher, the college entrance exam would be a piece of cake. I silently called out to the system. Draw for me, a triple draw. Start drawing passive skills. A virtual wheel appeared deep in my consciousness. The light this time was even more dazzling. A triple draw had real presence. But why was the color section so small? Why was blue taking up half? The wheel spun rapidly. Blue, purple, gold, red, color alternating. I kept a calm face. But inside, I was praying desperately. Give me red. Give me red. If I were greedy, give me color. The wheel gradually stopped, finally turning into a red light. Golden legend. Draw successful. Obtain passive skill unfair advantage. Rank red. Skill description. When receiving any attack, you will be immune to that attack, and 50% of the force will be returned to the enemy as a sneak attack. Cooldown 10 minutes. My eyes lit up. First draw, a great start. Immune to attack and reflecting damage. This passive is truly unfair, but I like it. I wonder if there is a lightning 5-strike combo. In reality, this is a top-tier anti-ambush skill. If an enemy lands a fatal sneak attack, you are fine, and the enemy gets inexplicably reflected. Who can handle that? Keep going. Keep going. 2 more to open. The system screen flashed again. A dazzling purple light came. Draw successful. Obtain passive skill golden finger. Rank purple. Skill description. When flicking an egg with your middle finger will be indestructible and release 30 times your own power. After reading the skill description, I was dumbfounded. 30 times power with a middle finger flick. I read it 3 times to make sure I was not mistaken. System, wait a moment. Is this skill serious? What kind of absurd skill is this? 30 times stats was tempting, but the trigger condition was too abstract. My mouth twitched, but then I had a thought and seemed to understand its use. Eggs. A meteorite is just a bigger egg. I took a deep breath, planning to study it later. My eyes locked on the final draw. 3rd draw. Give me something. The system flashed once. True golden legend. Draw successful. Obtain passive skill cold gleam. Rank gold. Skill description. When attacking with a cold weapon, trigger a chilling effect once, lasting half a second. The chilling effect makes the enemy feel like falling into an ice cellar, experiencing extreme cold. Their internal spirit energy disperses, unable to condense spirit energy. Cooldown 6 seconds. Evaluation. A cold gleam arrives first. Then swords, knives, and spears follow like dragons. Gold is actually not bad either. With a red passive as a baseline, gold seems a bit ordinary, but at least it is better than purple. Cold gleam can compensate for my lack of a weapon. I grew more satisfied the more I looked. Combat Master plus Cold Gleam. The 2 passives complement each other perfectly. Unstoppable in close combat. If I could draw a ranged weapon passive someday, I would have it all in hand. The passive system is amazing. I gave a thumbs up, very satisfied with my luck. After all, half of it was blue, and I did not draw any of it. The 3 skills each had their merits. 1 for survival and counterkill. 1 abstract and violent. 1 for close combat control. Not bad. Not bad. This round is not a loss. Just as I was about to study the skills further, the corridor broadcast crackled with static. A serious male voice came through. Attention, all senior 3 teachers and students. Please proceed to the martial arts training ground immediately for ability testing. The middle-aged man had also returned by now, and after a few words with Wang Yue, they organized the students to go down. On the martial arts training ground, 10 high-tech machines stood. Students stood inside the machines. The machines began to scan. The large screens displayed corresponding information. Name, class, realm, ability rank. It felt like Captain America after injecting the super serum. Here it comes, ability testing. So nervous. I think I awakened gigantification. Able to make parts of the body grow larger. Normally, it would be D rank. Just give me D rank directly. Save the trouble of going through the process. You are bragging. Who does not have gigantification? I can also grow larger temporarily. Someone from the regular class awakened B rank. Healing ability, what a lucky break. Before, Getting into university was hard. Now they can choose anywhere. Chu Tiange is truly the grade leader. Body tempering 9th layer, awakening B rank, thunder punishment. This time, the city's top scorer is definitely him. Wait, do not leave yet. What if I told you? Miss Phone awakened A rank Frost Fox. How would you respond? Impressive. That would be the provincial top scorer. What does A rank Frost Fox mean? A beast type ability. Not only can you use the beast's abilities, at critical moments, you can also summon the beast. If the Frost Fox's true form descends, it could destroy most of a city. Of course, to summon its true form, you need at least Jade Heart 9th layer cultivation. But awakening A rank Frost Fox is enough to dominate peers. This A rank Frost Fox is comparable to an S rank ability. Soon it was Class 7's turn. Class 7, Senior 3, Li Boliang. When his name was called, Li Boliang first straightened his collar, then walked up with confident steps into the detection pod. Body tempering 6th layer cultivation, ranked 21st in the school. The top existence in Class 7, Senior 3. He had absolute confidence in his ability, though he could not compare to geniuses like Chu Tiange or Feng Ziyi. He was at least better than Shen Yannian. A blue light beam scanned his body. The large screen displayed information. Lyncher No. 3 High School, Class 7, Senior 3. Li Boliang. Cultivation body tempering 6th layer. Ability steel body. Rank C. Li Boliang frowned slightly, seeming dissatisfied. He had expected at least B rank, but it turned out to be only C rank. The slanted fringe flattered him on the side. Brotherly, amazing. C rank steel body. A defensive type ability. I would not even dare to dream of it. The flattery was to his liking. Li Boliang snorted lightly and walked off the stage. When he passed by me, he did not forget to mock me. A C rank ability is enough for you to look up to. In the end, you are only fit to be trampled under my feet. I shrugged and shot back. I would not even dare to imagine a C rank ability. How could I have such a trashy ability myself? Steel body might as well be called sandbag, which suits you quite well. Li Boliang glanced at the podium and saw the school leaders looking this way, so he could only leave a threat. You should be glad this is the training ground. Just you wait. I did not even bother with him. I have already unlocked cheats. Why would I fear this trash? Class 7, Senior 3, Shen Yannian. Soon it was my turn. The noise on the training ground grew louder. The morning incident had spread. All the students were shocked. The useless trash bullied for 3 years had made a comeback. Body tempering 1st layer beating body tempering 3rd layer. Openly confronting body tempering 6th layer. Was it a desperate struggle of the week? Or a genius's rise? Was it finally my turn to show off? Under everyone's gaze, I walked toward the detection pod. The crowd automatically parted a path. Is that him, a 3-year waste, who suddenly rose and beat a 3rd layer? I heard yesterday's strength test was only 180 kilograms. Still 20 short of passing. Could he have ambushed him? I asked around. It was not an ambush. He even announced before the fight. The other guy just did not react in time. That is pretty polite. So what? Even if he awakens an ability, it will probably only be F rank. After all, he has not broken through in 3 years. Talent determines the ceiling. You cannot say that. I actually think he is a genius rising. Want to bet a meal? Bet. I still do not believe it. A genius rise could happen at our school. I ignored the discussions and walked straight into the detection pod. The transparent door slowly closed. A blue light beam scanned me from head to toe. Then suddenly, a change occurred. The light beam began to flicker violently. The data on the screen jumped wildly. The large screen emitted urgent alarms. The staff's expression changed. They quickly operated the control panel, trying to stabilize the instrument. But instead of stabilizing, it grew more intense. The ability rank on the screen gradually rose. FEDCB, AS, SS, SSS. Everyone was stunned. What is happening? Is the instrument malfunctioning? Why is the ability rank getting higher? It is about to exceed SSS. Is he even human? On the podium, the school leaders and military officials stood up abruptly, not knowing what was happening either. After more than 10 seconds, the jumping rank finally stabilized. The final result displayed. Lyncher No. 3 High School, Class 7, Senior 3. Shen Yannian. Cultivation body tempering 5th layer. Ability unknown. Rank unknown. The entire square fell silent. Everyone's eyes were wide, staring at the screen in disbelief. Unknown ability. Could it be unrecorded? The teachers and students on the training ground began discussing. Human research on abilities had only been going on for over 20 years. It was normal for some abilities to be unrecorded, but unrecorded abilities were extremely rare. After all, hundreds of millions appeared each year, and most had long been cataloged. The staff was stunned for a long while, then turned to look at the podium and shouted loudly, "Sir, how should we handle this?" An old man on the podium instantly appeared before me. I recognized him. Principal Zheng Hanyuan, also the Vice President of the Ability Association, a top-tier expert at White Jade Divine Third Layer. Zheng Hanyuan frowned. After a moment of thought, he asked, "Your ability is unrecorded. Can you demonstrate it?" I fell silent, because I did not feel any ability at all. Could it have been swallowed by the system? Or was my ability the system itself? Zheng Hanyuan saw me not speaking for a long time, and continued, "Do not be afraid. I am the Vice President of the Ability Association. With just one look at your ability, I can give a rough rank. The official rating will only be higher." I was complaining internally. I do not have any damn ability. Could my ability be the passive system? That would definitely not work. My mind raced. I had no ability, so I had to make do with a passive skill. What should I show? Unfair advantage. No. No. A life-saving skill cannot be exposed. Golden finger. Not good either. I had not figured out how to flick an egg yet. Should I flick an egg in front of the whole school? I would probably be seen as a lunatic. Combat master. Even worse. Who has combat experience as an ability? Eliminating all options. Only cold gleam remained. Principal, do you have a weapon? Something like a sword or spear. An attachment type ability. Zheng Hanyuan was a bit surprised. He casually took out an ancient longsword from his spatial ring. I took the longsword, took a deep breath, pretending to activate the ability, then slowly raised the longsword and lightly tapped Zheng Hanyuan with it. Cold gleam was triggered, flowing through the blade into his body. Zheng Hongyuan's expression changed dramatically. He felt a piercing chill, rising from within. At this moment, he felt as if he were at the bottom of a deep lake. Such a powerful chill. Even I cannot resist it. The next second, his pupils trembled, a flash of shock in his eyes. This chill directly affected spirit energy, causing it to disperse and preventing it from recondensing. Seeing this, I withdrew the longsword and quietly waited for the ability estimation. Zheng Hanyuan said in a deep voice, "Your internal spirit energy has barely changed, indicating the ability consumes very little. The effect lasts half a second on me. The power is very strong." I asked curiously, "What rank is my ability?" Zheng Hanyuan thought for a moment and gave a conservative rating. If it only had the spirit energy dispersion effect, it would only be D rank. But the power is S rank. Overall, it is B rank. What? Shin Yinyan's ability is B rank. In terms of effect alone, it is S rank. A genius rise. The last place suddenly becomes one of the top in the grade. There are very few B rank abilities in all of No. 3 high school, and Shin Yanyan has one. It might even be higher later. Zheng Hanyuan raised his hand for silence, then turned to face the whole audience. His voice was not loud, but it clearly reached every corner of the training ground. Classmate Shun Yinyan's ability, after my evaluation, is preliminarily determined to be attachment type B rank, with a chilling effect. The specific rank will be further assessed by the ability association later. Zheng Hanyuan paused, his tone turning serious. "Since you are all here, I will say a few words. Yesterday, a beast infiltrated the old district. As you may have heard, although it has been dealt with, it does not mean the city is safe. Now that most of you have awakened, some of you are starting to get cocky, saying things like, 'Since I have an ability, I can handle low-level beasts.' That kind of thinking is completely wrong. I have seen many people who say they are not afraid of beasts, but when they actually face one, they still hesitate and even lose their lives. Do not go looking for infiltrating beasts. Secret realm training should be accompanied by parents. If you encounter a beast in the city, run immediately." Zheng Hongyuan's voice was heavy. He clearly had his own stories. "I hope you remember, real combat is not a game. A moment of hesitation can decide life or death." As soon as he finished, I took the lead in applauding. The audience was stunned for a moment, then joined in with enthusiastic applause. Zheng Hanyuan glanced at me with surprise. "Not bad, young man. You have good awareness. Yanyan, your ability is good. I am quite optimistic about you. This is my personal phone number. If you have any trouble, find me." I was delighted inside. I must hold on to this connection. Zheng Hanyuan wrote down his number, then whispered, "Yanyan, your ability is unrecorded. Who discovered it and who recorded it?" "I understand. Principal, no problem. I have not thought of a name for the ability yet. You are definitely more knowledgeable than me. Why not help me name it?" Zheng Hanyuan laughed heartily. Good. Back in class, I immediately saw Li Boliang's face, looking like he had eaten shit. Oh my, I accidentally awakened a B rank ability. What a pity. I was hoping to awaken C rank Iron Shirt and have a go with Brotherly. I deliberately walked up to him, putting on a pained expression. "Huh, what does a B rank ability matter? You would still run when facing a beast. Miley Group has had me exposed to beasts since childhood. My starting point is something you can never match." Li Boliang put on an air of superiority. Just then, the lackey Wang Yupeng came over. "Brotherly, now that you mention it, I remember something. I also live in the old district. Yesterday I saw Shinyanian walking home covered in blood. At that time, he looked extremely pathetic. Li Boliang's eyes lit up, his mockery growing stronger. Oh, covered in blood. Could it be he ran into a beast and ran home in a panic, even falling down? He laughed out loud. The surrounding students cast strange looks. I frowned but said nothing. Slander is easy. Refuting it is hard. What could I say? That I killed the Shadowless Cat. And the blood was from the cat. Even if I said it, no one would believe me. They would ask for proof. Was there surveillance? There were no cameras in the old district. Rather than argue, it was better to ignore it. Just then, at the entrance of the training ground, a commotion suddenly arose. Move aside. Classmates, please move aside. Everyone turned to look. More than a dozen people stood at the gate, dressed in uniform black uniforms, with silver gleaming badges on their left chests. The pattern was an eternal burning sun. Rihang. These are people from Rihang. Why are they here? The students erupted, a look of awe on their faces. Rihang was responsible for beast cases and maintaining city order. Those who could join Rihang were at least Chi Condensation 9th layer, with a total of 23 seats. Each seat holder was among the top in the world. As long as they stood, hope never faded. The group pushed through the crowd and arrived at the podium. At the lead was a middle-aged man, wearing an old-style patrol uniform, with a pipe in his mouth, looking disheveled and lazy. It was the old patrolman from the morning. Following behind him was the heroic girl. I was stunned. Why were they here? Zheng Hanyuan saw the old patrolman, first paused, then broke into a smile, and quickly greeted him. Old Zhou, what brings you here? The old patrolman exhaled smoke and chuckled, cupping his hands. Old Zheng, long time no see. It has been a while. Zheng Hanyuan patted his shoulder, his gaze falling on the members behind him, a flicker of doubt in his eyes. That is quite the entourage. Are you here on official business? Not really official. Just to present a banner. The old patrolman smiled. His gaze swept across the training ground. Is there a student here? Named Shinyanian. Zheng Hanyuan was startled. Shinyanian is indeed a student here. He was just next to me. He turned and waved. Shinyanian, come over here. My heart skipped a beat. Oh no, could they have found out about me killing the Shadowless Cat yesterday? Wait, I was eliminating a threat for the people. Why should I be afraid? The old patrolman looked me over, nodded. Good spirit, young man. Then he took a red banner from a member behind him, embroidered with gold characters. Courageous youth. Young hero. The old patrolman cleared his throat, his voice clearly audible across the training ground. According to Rihang's investigation and verification, last night, classmate Shinyanian, alone in an alley in the old district, killed a Shadowless Cat, protecting the citizens of the old district, their lives and property. After review by Rihang, his actions meet the standard for courage. Now, on behalf of the Lyncher branch, we present this banner and a cash reward. The whole audience erupted. No one could believe it. What? Shinyanian killed a Shadowless Cat. Really? A Shadowless Cat is body tempering 9th layer, its strength touching the threshold of Chi condensation. Was it not said that Shinyanian had not broken through body tempering 2nd layer in 3 years? The cost of slander is this low now. Which body tempering 2nd layer can kill a body tempering 9th layer beast? My brother Nian is amazing. Talk now, haters. Li Boliang, who had been mocking just moments ago, his smile froze instantly. Wang Yuping's mouth went stiff, like he had been struck by lightning, frozen in place. Zheng Hanyuan was stunned for a moment, then looked at me with more approval. Good kid, keeping a low profile. I was also a bit stunned. Although I knew Rihang would come, I never expected it to be like this. In front of the whole school, presenting the banner publicly, and thoughtfully helping me hide my realm, letting me have a great moment. The old patrolman handed me the banner, then took an envelope from his pocket. This is the bonus, 100,000 yuan, keep it well. 100,000. An unexpected bonus. My eyes lit up instantly. I took the money with both hands. 3 times faster than taking the banner. Thank you so much. Thanks to Rihang for maintaining order, and the school leaders for their guidance. Otherwise, I would not have had the courage. This little thing is not worth mentioning. Compared to Rihang's long-term dedication, it is nothing. The old patrolman was amused, twirling the pipe in his hand. All right, the banner is given. The money is handed over. We will not disturb your testing. Then he looked at me again, and added meaningfully, young man, next time do not stare so much. Luckily I was there this time. Otherwise, that girl would definitely have chopped you into a sieve. My smile froze for a moment, and I looked at the girl with lingering fear. I did not expect her to be so fierce. Just looking a couple of times, and she wanted to cut someone. The girl seemed to notice the gaze, frowning slightly. This time she did not touch the sword at her waist, just snorted and turned away. Hee, it is nothing. We will be going now. The old patrolman led the group away, leaving me standing on the podium. holding the banner and 100,000 yuan, bathed in the gaze of the whole school. Like a crowned king, I looked down at the banner, and at the money in my hand, a grin spreading across my face. Here is the proof. Then I jumped off the podium, and casually walked up to Li Boliang. In a light-hearted tone, I said, "Oh, nothing much yesterday. I just happened to kill a shadowless cat." And just as brotherly said, I ran home in a panic. Li Boliang's face instantly flushed red. His fists clenched tightly, staring at the banner in my hand, his chest heaving violently, unable to say a word. Hey, you are red hot and about to explode. Stay away from me. I have a germophobia. I do not want to get shit on me. Humph. Li Boliang snorted, and strode out with a flick of his hand. His lackeys followed with their heads down, not daring to look at me again. Watching his defeated back, I could not help but laugh. You are still too green to compete with me. I felt the 100,000 in my pocket, and was in a great mood. The ability test was over. Staying at school held no hope for me. The college entrance exam was coming. Body tempering 5th layer cultivation, compared to the top tier, was too far behind. Plus killing beasts increased my cultivation. So I found Wang Yue, and explained the situation. Teacher Wang, I would like to take a leave, to go home and study, and come back for the exam. Wang Yue frowned slightly, his expression turning complicated. He had taught me for 3 years, always thinking I was mediocre. But first I tested as B rank. Then I was publicly commended by Rihang. Going home to study. You are probably going to a secret realm, are you not? Teacher, I really want to improve. Body tempering 5th layer cannot catch up to the top tier. I can only hone my practical skills in a secret realm. I want to get into a good university. You are rushing again. If you are not in a hurry, you cannot improve. Wang Yue sighed, and finally agreed under my clear gaze. Perhaps he thought that since I had awakened B rank, and had killed a shadowless cat, surviving a secret realm would not be a problem. If you go to a secret realm, you can spend some money. Hire ability users to ensure safety. Do not be afraid to waste money. Got it. After thanking Wang Yue, I packed my things and went home, took out the property deed, and headed straight to the bank. Although the house my parents left was in the old district, it was quite large, and could be mortgaged for over 600,000 at market price. I spent most of the day at the bank, filling out forms, evaluating, signing, fingerprinting. By the time I finished, it was past 3 in the afternoon. When I walked out of the bank, I had an extra 650,000 on my card. My parents' compensation was over $1 million. After deducting expenses over the years, I still had more than 800,000 left, plus the reward for bravery. I had about 1,600,000 in hand. Looking at my phone balance, I felt a sense of confidence. With money, it was time to spend. I took a taxi to Biting Heavy Industries. This was a state special sales agency. Chi and blood potions, light and heavy weapons. Special weapons for fighting beasts could only be purchased here. Weapons were also divided into 9 levels, from SSS to F. The higher the level, the higher the damage, and the more expensive. I walked into Biting Heavy Industries, and was immediately stunned by the sight. This was like a large military base. The lobby alone was over 1,000 square meters, with a ceiling more than 10 meters high and chandeliers. The first floor was filled with transparent display cases, swords, knives, spears, halberds, axes, hooks, and even firearms, with parameters and prices labeled beside them. Most were only F rank. Very few were E rank. For higher ranks, you needed to go to the second floor. Further in was the equipment area, accessories area, potions area, martial techniques area, martial arts area. I was overwhelmed by the sight. Only one thought crossed my mind. It is good to have money. F rank quenching longsword 680,000. F rank long quan sword 950,000. F rank ice demon dragon battle suit 1,200,000. Concentrated spirit potion, single bottle 200,000. My mouth twitched. I hate rich people. The 1,600,000 in hand seemed like a huge sum, but here it only made a small splash. I stood in front of a pitch-black longsword. For a long time, a sharp-eyed attendant immediately ran over and enthusiastically introduced it. Hello, sir. This longsword is a bestseller, very popular among male ability users. The blade is forged from Nanyuan ore. The scabbard is made of second-rank beast bone, with an energy channel as high as 31. Now on sale for only 990,000. I kept nodding, as if I was about to swipe my card. Great, but the price is a bit over budget. This sword really suits my taste. Sharp and hard, far superior to weapons of the same class. Great value for money, but if I bought it, I would not have enough budget for armor and potions. Just as I was hesitating, I caught a familiar figure out of the corner of my eye. A girl in a white combat suit, her figure outlined by the fitted fabric, with long, toned legs. She stood in front of a silver-white battle suit, examining it closely. My eyes lit up. What a coincidence. It was the Rihang girl from this morning. The old patrolman beside her must have a high status. She was most likely a Rehang member. If Rehang members came to shop, they might get a discount. My mind started working, so I shamelessly walked over and greeted her with a smile. Hi, what a coincidence. I did not expect to run into you here. As the saying goes, never strike a smiling face. As long as I showed enough goodwill, she might be able to help me. The girl turned at the sound and frowned when she saw me, her tone cold. It is you, Shinyanyan. I regretted my morning self. I should not have been a bystander. My first impression was ruined. The sin I created. I had to bear it. Yes, it is me. We met this morning. Are you here shopping too? Do you like this suit? The girl did not answer my question, but simply said, what do you want? Nothing. Just greeting an acquaintance. I said with a grin, but my eyes unconsciously drifted to the card peeking out from the girl's pocket, with the biting Heavy Industries logo on it, and a line of small text below, Supreme VIP. I quickly pulled the attendant aside and whispered, how much discount does Supreme VIP get? Tell me quietly. Though confused, the attendant, following the customer is king principle, also leaned in and whispered, sir, the Supreme VIP card gives a 30% discount. 30%. My breathing quickened. With a 30% discount, I could buy 1 or 2 more pieces of equipment. I rubbed my hands together, a big smile on my face. Miss, can you do me a small favor? The girl was startled, then frowned deeply. No, do not be so formal. I said with a thick skin. You know me inside out. I am a good young man who does brave deeds. You are a Rehang member upholding order. We share the same ideals. Who shares ideals with you? You pervert. I squinted, slowly leaned in, and asked, do you think that Rehang is wrong to uphold order? First put a label, then take a stand. Old school tactic. I did not think that. You. I looked wary. That is a dangerous thought. The girl did not speak. She just stared at me, her clear eyes slowly welling up. Oh, I overdid it. Feeling guilty under her gaze, I waved my hand and said, if you do not want to help, forget it. Do not cry. The girl, with reddened eyes, suddenly spoke. What help do you need? I think it is too expensive. Forget it. She was about to cry. If she got angry and really chopped me into pieces, it would not be worth it. I slowly started moving my feet outward, but the girl grabbed my clothes, not letting me go. I shrugged helplessly. You are the one insisting on helping me. I am not forcing you. The girl looked a bit dazed and nodded blankly. If I help you, you take back what you said earlier. Fine. As long as you help me, I will take back what I said. I just thought she was a bit adorably silly. I want to buy the A312 Remnant Snow Longsword, the J564 Deep Sea Battle Suit, and 2 bottles of concentrated spirit potion. Use your Supreme VIP card to give me a discount. The girl nodded and turned toward the counter. I quickly followed. All right. The commission goes to this attendant. The girl walked to the counter and handed the Supreme card to the staff. A 312 Remnant Snow Longsword, J564 Deep Sea Battle Suit, 2 bottles of concentrated spirit potion. He will pay. When the staff saw the card, they paused first, then respectfully took it. All right, please wait a moment. After confirming the card was real, they whispered to a colleague. Go call the manager. These 2 are Supreme VIPs. I was confused. Why call the manager? Just give the discount directly. Little did I know the Supreme card was issued fewer than 200 worldwide. Every holder was rich or powerful, practically a dragon among men. The manager rushed over immediately and listed the items. A 312 Remnant Snow Longsword, priced at 990,000. Best-selling item, not eligible for discount. J564 Deep Sea Battle Suit, priced at 850,000. 30% off. 595,000. 2 bottles of concentrated spirit potion, priced at 400,000. 30% off. 280,000. Total 1,865,000. Since you are a Supreme VIP, after discount, it is 1,860,000. The staff quoted the number. Wait, what do you mean bestseller does not get a discount? I wanted to keep 100,000 for living expenses. Now I still owe 200,000. I leaned close to the girl and whispered, Miss, I miscalculated. I did not know bestsellers were not discounted. I do not have enough money. Wait a moment. I will go change to a different weapon. Do not change. Put this on my tab. I was moved to the core, almost ready to jump up and say, Thank you. Let us exchange contact info. I will pay you back as soon as I make money. The girl glanced at me flatly. All right. By the way, what is your name? So I can note it down. Chen Nanshu. After adding contact info, Chen Nanshu continued browsing the suits. I watched her back and could not help grinning. She seemed cold on the surface, but turned out to be quite kind-hearted. After filling in the delivery address, I went home to wait for the delivery. Once home, I did not rest. The college entrance exam was coming. I wished I could split every minute in 2. I took out the concentrated spirit potion. According to the instructions, it could increase an ability user's cultivation. It needed to be diluted with water, 5 drops at a time, twice a day. One bottle cost 200,000. Do not let the effect disappoint me. I unscrewed the cap. A dense energy wafted out. Just smelling it refreshed me. Without hesitation, I tilted my head back and down the whole bottle. As for whether the potency would overflow, there was no need to worry. The system would take it all in. The moment the potion hit my throat, a scorching current rushed down. Vast spirit energy exploded inside me. I bounced up. Every cell in my body was frantically absorbing the spirit energy. The potency was extremely fierce. My meridians felt like they were being scoured by boiling water. But soon the system kicked in. The surging spirit energy was instantly absorbed, like soaking in a hot spring. After a long time, I suddenly opened my eyes. A gleam of light flashed in them. Body tempering 6th layer achieved. 1 bottle of concentrated spirit potion took me from 5th to 6th layer. The 140,000 was well spent. I stretched my limbs, filled with power. Just then, the system sounded. Breakthrough to body tempering 6th layer. Congratulations, host, you have obtained 1 chance to draw a passive skill. Do you want to draw? Draw, absolutely draw. I silently chanted without hesitation. Start drawing passive skill. A huge wheel appeared before my eyes, flashing with various colors. Blue, purple, gold, red, and a rare color. Flowing at the edge, the wheel spun rapidly. My heartbeat quickened. Color, color, color. Soon the wheel slowed down. The pointer finally stopped on red. Draw successful. Obtain passive skill life magnetic field. Rank red. Skill description. With a 500-meter radius centered on yourself, you will release a life magnetic field. Any living being entering the range, regardless of form, or the use of stealth skills, will be discovered. If the other party actively attacks, you will obtain basic information. Cultivation realm, physical condition. No cooldown. Evaluation, I will use the most straightforward, simplest, and most direct way to tell you the opponent's information. I was stunned for a moment, then overjoyed. Another red passive. Its effect was practically tailor-made for secret realms. A 500-meter perception range. Any stealth is rendered useless. Active attacks even yield information. Entering a secret realm with this is like having a full-range radar. Then I downed the last bottle. It did not break through to 7th layer, but my cultivation increased considerably, getting closer to 7th layer. The next morning, just as dawn broke, I got up, easily lifted the 100-pound battle suit, and put it on. The remnant snow longsword hung at my waist. Black combat boots on my feet. I nodded in satisfaction. The equipment had all arrived yesterday. The boots were a freebie. Time to head to the secret realm. There were quite a few secret realms around Linshire. Most had stable danger levels. The one I was entering was E rank. In the past, humanity's strongest had killed all the powerful beasts, and the military had stationed troops to ensure a safe range. I was entering Linshire number 3 E rank secret realm. Most beasts were at body tempering realm. A few were at chi condensation. Beasts had intelligence. Higher ranked ones could even take human form. I arrived at the secret realm entrance. A huge barrier covered the valley entrance. There was a dedicated checkpoint at the entrance. Soldiers with submachine guns checked the backpacks of entering martial artists. The official would provide a spatial backpack for entrance. Ability users could not bring their own space equipment. The spatial backpack had 100 square meters of space, and special machines would record everything. The entrance fee for the secret realm was 1/10 of the harvested spoils. No, 3E rank was an old secret realm. Most valuable treasures had long been taken. Only weak beasts remained for training, so there was no need to queue. I walked straight to the front desk and handed over my ID. Hello, I have booked no. 3 secret realm. The receptionist did not look up, focused on watching a soap opera, and skillfully pulled out a liability waiver. Sign the waiver, and you can take your ticket and enter. I quickly signed my name, then took the pass, and walked into the barrier, passing through a slime-like membrane. When my feet touched the ground again, I had already entered the secret realm world. The whole place was dim and gray. Not far away, trees were at least 100 meters tall, their lush branches blocking the sky. It looked like an ancient forest terrain. I took a deep breath and gripped the long sword at my waist. The life magnetic field was always active. In fact, it was never turned off. Every living being within 500 meters was clearly present in my perception. This feeling was amazing. I knew every creature in the area, inside out. Any movement of any creature could not escape my perception. This is the life magnetic field. No fear of ambushes. Just then, the field suddenly sent an abnormal feedback. 400 meters ahead, a creature was hiding its form and rapidly approaching me. Netherwolf. Species wolf. Gender male. Realm body tempering 8th layer. Innate skill, nether breath concealment. Fully integrated into the shadow environment. Achieving optical absolute invisibility. Suppressing all vital signs. Heartbeat, breathing, body temperature all concealed. I had just entered, and a big catch had taken the bait. A stealth nether wolf. But your stealth is useless before me. Not only was I not panicked, I was actually looking forward to it. I did not stop walking, showing no sign of abnormality. Pretending I knew nothing. I continued deeper. The hidden nether wolf came closer. 300 meters, 200 meters, 100 meters, 50 meters. The life magnetic field had already locked on. It was right in front of me. If not for the field, I would have had a hard time spotting it. After all, there was nothing in my vision. The nether wolf bent its hind legs, lowering its center of gravity. Every muscle tense to the extreme. Its scarlet eyes fixed on me, slowly circling, looking for the right angle. Boom. The nether wolf suddenly pounced, almost instantly reaching the speed of a bullet from a gun. Its sharp claws aimed at the carotid artery in my neck. This pounce was as fast as lightning. Even a chi condensation cultivator would struggle to react. If those claws swept across, even high-strength steel plate would be like paper, let alone my fragile neck. But just as the nether wolf thought its meal was secured, I moved. I did not turn around, but simply shifted my body slightly. My right middle finger had been raised at some point. My finger bent and aimed at the nether wolf's pouncing head. A smile curled at my lips. My middle finger flicked lightly. Golden finger automatically triggered. A white shockwave burst from my fingertip. The middle finger lawn. Dead precisely. On the nether wolf's skull. A crisp crack of bone echoed. The nether wolf did not even have time to scream. Its bones let out a heavy groan. Its head instantly exploded. Red and white matter splattered everywhere. Its massive body froze in midair, then crashed to the ground, twitched twice, and stopped moving. One hit kill. I withdrew my finger and blew on it as if brushing off dust. Looking down at the nether wolf's corpse, I could not help but marvel. 30 times the power. If I flicked a person's head, it would probably turn into a bloody mist. I called up the system panel. Host Shinyanian. Realm body tempering 6th layer. Progress 65%. Passive skills combat master. Unfair advantage, golden finger. Cold gleam, life magnetic field. My eyes lit up. Sure enough, killing beasts increased cultivation. Although it only increased by 3%. This was a secret realm, and it had no shortage of beasts. I pulled out my longsword, ready to process the nether wolf. Skin it for a coat. Extract the fangs as crafting material. The internal organs were also intact. Body tempering 8th rank beast organs. Should sell for a good price. Might as well stuff the entire corpse into the spatial backpack. Then I adjusted my state and continued hunting. Found one with the life magnetic field enhancement. No beast within 500 meters could escape detection. I stepped on the ground and pushed off with both legs, my whole body shooting out like an arrow. A rabbit-like creature was tearing at its prey with its head down, when suddenly a dark shadow loomed over it. Before the bloodthirsty rabbit could react, a finger appeared out of nowhere. Above its head, white shockwave burst out. One hit kill. Second one. Without any pause, I pulled out the remnant snow from my waist and stabbed it into the ground not far away. Then pulled out a shelled ground rat from beneath the earth and decapitated it with one slash, tossing it casually into the spatial backpack. Third one. Half an hour later, within 500 meters, there was not a single living beast. I had killed 8. Only the first nether wolf was body tempering 8th layer. The remaining 7 were small fry. As for why so few, it was only because I could not catch up with beasts above body tempering 6th layer. The day-night ratio in secret realms far exceeded normal limits. The day-night ratio in No. 3 secret realm was about 1 to 10. The light at the horizon was growing dimmer. Night in the secret realm was approaching. I sat by the stream, with my back against a large rock, carefully checking my gains. 8 beasts. The corpses filled about half the backpack. My realm progress was at 69%, just 1% short, meaning just one more beast. Just as I was taking a short break, a whistling sound cut through the air. A spear flew past before my eyes. Swish, swish, several more flew by. One of the spears hit me right in the chest. Though the spear struck accurately, the expected penetration did not happen. A layer of invisible film appeared, blocking the spear. Unfair advantage triggered automatically, negating the damage. The spear suddenly returned at an even faster speed, flying back along its original path, quickly disappearing into the darkness, without a trace. At the same time, hundreds of meters away, the attacker had no time to react, and was pierced through the chest by the spear, letting out a pained grunt. My pupils contracted, my expression growing serious. I had been ambushed. What shocked me even more was that the life magnetic field had not detected any living creature. Within 500 meters, the field swept like radar, but found nothing. No beast aura. No life fluctuations. That spear had no life. The magnetic field could not sense it at all. Cold sweat beaded on my forehead. The thrower was beyond 500 meters. A beast or a human. A spear could fly this far and still retain such power upon arrival, indicating the opponent was very strong, possibly even a chi condensation realm. I realized instantly how dangerous the situation was. The enemy was hidden. I was exposed. They could attack from extreme range, but I did not even know where the enemy was. If not for unfair advantage, I would probably be a corpse by now. But precisely because of that, the enemy was also in a bad state now. Reflecting half the power back would be enough to give them a hard time. Calm down. Calm down. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. The more dangerous the moment, the less I could panic. I could not stay in place as a target. The next spear might take my life. Unfair advantage was already on cooldown. Instead of panicking and being prey, it was better to take the initiative and become the hunter in control of the situation. My gaze sharp as I stared in the direction the spear came from. I slowly stepped over the spear on the ground, drawing my blade as I walked, until the long sword was fully unsheathed. I held the blade at an angle, standing before the darkness. Night had fully fallen in the secret realm. Everything around was pitch black. Only the resting spot had a little light. Beyond the resting spot, it was completely dark. Visibility was almost zero. I had the life magnetic field. As long as the enemy entered within 500 meters, I could lock onto their position. But the enemy had already moved, making it hard to see the source. Now I could only wait for the enemy's next attack. A very faint whistling sound suddenly came from the right. I could barely react, only managing to twist my body to avoid the vital spots. The spear almost grazed past my cheek and embedded itself in the granite behind me. Without a moment of hesitation, like an arrow from a bow, I charged toward the direction of the spear, every muscle tensed, my figure darting through the darkness. But after running less than 100 meters, another spear cut through the air. But this time I was prepared. My body twisted at an awkward angle, barely dodging the flying spear. But the next second, a pitch-black spear suddenly appeared right in front of me, carrying terrifying force, and struck my battle suit, leaving a hideous hole. Do you know how much this battle suit cost? 850,000. I was also stirred to fight, and my speed surged again. Found you. Just then, the life magnetic field finally sensed life. 400 meters to the left front, a tall beast crouched in a tree, about 2.5 meters tall, covered in short, deep black fur. A glossy black ridge of stiff fur ran down its spine to the tail. Black ridge, spear-throwing ape. Species ape. Gender male. Realm chi condensation, first layer. State hungry. Skills heart-piercing throw, dark vision. Heart-piercing throw channels, all strength. To throw a spear, cutting through air, and muffling the sound of flight. Dark vision allows unimpaired sight. In complete darkness. Chi condensation, first layer. My pupils contracted slightly. The first time I had encountered a chi condensation beast. Body tempering 10th layer and chi condensation, first layer, were only one realm apart, but their strength was worlds apart. Not to mention chi condensation beasts had intelligence that crushed body tempering. I understood now. No wonder the spears could fly so far. It was enhanced by skills. A beast that had gained intelligence was truly different, able to use skill traits for extreme range ambushes. I did not retreat a step, because it was chi condensation. Instead, I grew more excited. So what if it is chi condensation? I will kill it anyway. A spear tore through the darkness, with deadly force, aimed straight at my face. This time I did not dodge, having already locked onto the ape's position. The spear's trajectory was obvious. Just as it was about to hit, my right hand shot out like lightning, and firmly caught the speeding spear. The spear trembled in my hand, its tip 3 inches from my brow, unable to advance another inch. I gripped the spear, a cold smile curling at my lips. But just as I was about to counterattack, the ape in the shadows suddenly changed position and stopped attacking. Everything fell silent. I frowned. I could sense the spear-throwing ape, crouching in a tree less than 100 meters away, its scarlet eyes fixed on me. But it did not continue throwing. Its breathing was a bit rapid, with a patch of blood on its chest. The ape was injured, and very clever, very cautious. Seeing its ambushes had failed repeatedly, and sensing me approaching, it decisively chose to lie low. Even though it sensed I was only body tempering 6th layer, it did not get careless, silently changing position, quietly waiting for me to show a weakness. But every move it made was under the magnetic field surveillance. I did not pursue immediately, having learned from experience. A top-tier hunter often appears as the prey. I deliberately slowed my pace, putting on a bewildered look, looking around as if searching for the enemy's tracks. It was just here. Where did it go now? Could it have run far away? I deliberately muttered to myself, loud enough for the Black Ridge spear-throwing ape to hear. Whether it understood or not, I had to put on an act. After all, better to commit to the role. I picked up a spear from the ground and stabbed at a haystack randomly. Finding no beast, I cautiously moved to the other side, raised my blade and swung. My acting was Oscar-worthy. The hidden ape saw this. A hint of mockery flashed in its eyes. It slowly shifted position, melting into the darkness, preparing for the next ambush. It was confident. As an ape-type beast, its intelligence far exceeded peers of the same realm. It knew I was looking for it, but a human at body-tempering 6th layer could never find it. Unless it exposed itself, I would never discover it. But little did it know, before the life magnetic field, every move it made was clearly revealed in my mind. I pretended to search around, while discreetly adjusting my position. 200 meters, 100 meters, 50 meters, 20 meters. When it was directly above me, in the canopy, I suddenly stopped. That was close enough. A smirk forming at my lips. My right hand gripped the spear, my waist twisting, all my strength converging into my right arm. Then I hurled the spear with force. The spear streaked through the darkness like a meteor, with a piercing whistle, flying straight into the canopy above. Thud. The sound of a spear piercing flesh was clearly audible, followed by a pained shriek, and the sound of breaking branches. The Black Ridge spear-throwing ape fell from the canopy, crashing heavily to the ground. I looked closely. The spear had precisely pierced its thigh, blood flowing down the shaft, staining the soil. It struggled in pain, its scarlet eyes filled with rage and unwillingness. It could not understand how this human had found it, when it had hidden so well. I did not give it time to figure it out. Stepping forward, before it could recover, I suddenly raised my right leg and delivered a roundhouse kick to its jaw. Crack. The sound of bones dislocating. Its eyes rolled back, its massive body losing strength. Its head lolled to the side, unconscious. A chi condensation 1st layer beast, taken down by body tempering 6th layer. I dusted off my hands, looking at the unconscious ape on the ground, unable to resist grinning. Chi condensation is nothing special. Actually, I had a huge advantage. The Black Ridge spear-throwing ape had high attack and low defense. If not for unfair advantage, the first spear thrown at me would have put me on the ground. I crouched down and examined it carefully. Its thigh was pierced. Its jaw was shattered. It was still a decent trophy overall. A chi condensation 1st layer beast should sell for a good price. I stroked my chin, an idea coming to me. I took out my phone, adjusted the angle, and posed, crouching beside it, making a peace sign. A photo was taken. In the photo, I was grinning brightly. Next to me, the ape was unconscious with foam at its mouth, a spear still stuck in its thigh. The image was extremely striking. I nodded in satisfaction, opened my social media, and typed a caption. Just entered the secret realm and met a friendly friend who insisted on throwing spears at me. Unable to refuse, I had to knock them out and take a souvenir photo. Solo speedrun against chi condensation. Shrug. Sent. Low-level secret realms are great. They even have signal towers inside. Thumbs up. I put away my phone, stretched my muscles, then gripped the blade and plunged it into the beast's heart. A familiar mechanical voice sounded. Breakthrough to body tempering 7th layer. Congratulations, host, you have obtained one chance to draw a passive skill. Do you want to draw? Here it comes. Here it comes. My cultivation has finally increased. I started drawing without hesitation. I urgently needed to increase my strength. Just one Black Ridge spear-throwing ape had almost caused me to fail. If I encountered an even stronger beast, I would be done for. Start drawing passive skill. A huge wheel appeared before my eyes, flashing with various colors. Blue, purple, gold, red. The pointer finally stopped on gold. Draw successful. Obtain passive skill Dark Hand. Rank Gold. Skill description. When attacking with hidden weapons, the power of the hidden weapon is multiplied tenfold. The trajectory has a certain chance of reducing presence. No cooldown. Evaluation. Act cool, and I will make you fly. My eyes grew brighter. Oh, not bad. A ranged option has arrived, just when I needed it most. Before, though, I could rely on the life magnetic field to lock onto beast positions. Many times, as soon as I got close, the beasts would sense danger and run off at a speed I could not match, even using all my strength. But now with Dark Hand, the situation was completely different. Hidden weapon power increased tenfold. A casually picked up stone could hit with the effect of a sniper rifle. I had to try it. I rubbed my hands excitedly, bent down, and picked up a pebble, about the size of a walnut, my gaze piercing through the canopy, looking at the night sky. As a body tempering 7th layer, I could not see through the canopy at all, but with the life magnetic field, I had already locked onto a flying beast. A bird-shaped beast was passing by at 100 meters high, It seemed to have noticed me too, and dived down at high speed. Its claws aimed at me. I gradually made out the beast's appearance. Its body was the size of a grown sheep, but its wingspan was over 5 meters. Its wings gleaming with a dull metallic sheen. A test subject has arrived. I squinted, aiming the pebble at the beast. I took a deep breath, pulled my right arm back, wrist slightly bent, my middle and index fingers gripping the pebble. Then I hurled it with force. With the Jashu of body tempering 7th layer. The pebble exploded the moment it left my fingers, tearing through the air the instant it left my hand. A sharp whistling sound rang out, turning into an untraceable blur, shooting right into the sky. 100 meters up, the bird-shaped beast had no time to react. Before the pebble easily pierced its chest, flesh exploded in the air, like a brilliant rose. The beast, which had been diving at high speed, its wings suddenly stiffened, its whole body like a kite with cut strings, plummeting straight down, then crashing heavily in front of me, completely lifeless. A walnut-sized hole in its chest, piercing clean through from front to back. One-hit kill. Iron Wing Falcon. Cultivation, usually body tempering 7th layer. Known for extreme flight speed. When hunting, it dives from high altitude to capture ground prey. I recognized the beast from the textbook, looking down at my fingers, then up at the dead falcon. I stood there stunned. Is this not too exaggerated? A body tempering 7th layer Iron Wing Falcon, killed by one pebble. I had only thrown it with a bit of effort. Really, just a bit of effort. But the result was that a small pebble, from 100 meters away, one-shot the beast. Am I really Saitama? A tenfold increase is terrifying. With Dark Hand in my grasp, the world is mine. Now if I encounter a fast beast, I will just make it fly. I stuffed the falcon corpse into my spatial backpack, dusted off my hands, my eyes gleaming, looking deeper into the secret realm. With ranged options now covered, why bother resting? The hunt has only just begun. I became a merciless hunting machine. The life magnetic field combined with Dark Hand made my hunting efficiency terrifying. No need to get close at all. As long as I sensed a beast within 500 meters, I would pick up a pebble, aim, throw, one-shot kill. At the same time, Lyncher No. 3 High School was in an uproar, all because of my social media post with the photo of the Black Ridge spear-throwing ape. Though I did not have many friends, the photo was just too explosive. A body-tempering 5th layer high school student, solo killing a chi condensation ape, and taking a photo with it. Who would not be blown away by that? So unsurprisingly, screenshots spread quickly among students. Have you heard? Shinyanian from Class 7, Senior 3. Solo killed a chi condensation beast. I even have a photo. Shinyanian. Who is that? Never heard of him. Are you living under a rock? He is the one who tested with an unknown ability a few days ago. No way, really. Holy shit. There is a photo. I know what you mean. Could this photo be photoshopped? Photoshop my ass. Someone already verified the original. No editing traces. Bro Nyen is too fierce. It has only been a few days. From being at the bottom at body tempering 1st layer, to a big shot solo killing chi condensation. Big shot, teach me your secrets. Almost the entire school was talking about it, including Li Boliang. Class 7, Senior 3. Li Boliang's face was dark, no different from Black Whirlwind Li Kuei. Wang Yuping carefully handed over his phone. The screen showed the social media screenshot. Brotherly, look at this. Get lost. Li Boliang slapped the phone away. I have seen it already. This photo is definitely photoshopped. Even if it is not, he must have hired ability users. How could body tempering 5th layer beat a chi condensation beast? That is absolutely impossible. Wang Yuping shrank his neck in fear, but still muttered quietly. But he does not have the money to hire anyone. You bastard. Li Boliang kicked Wang Yuping away. Still not satisfied, he grabbed a chair and threw it at the slanted fringe. The slanted fringe said aggrievedly, Brotherly, I did not say anything. Shut up. Li Boliang barked. He could not believe it. That useless trash he used to bully. How did he suddenly become so strong? Not only awakening a B-rank ability, but also receiving a bravery banner. Now he could even solo kill a chi condensation beast. Why were these not his? Why? Shinyanian, just you wait. Also receiving the news was Chu Tinga from Class 1, Senior 3, the grade leader of Lyncher No. 3 High School. Body tempering 9th layer, awakening B-rank thunder punishment. He had once, by himself, before awakening, relying solely on martial techniques, killed a chi condensation beast, and had been on Lyncher News. Considered a provincial top scorer candidate. He sat in his seat, looking at the photo on his phone screen, silent for a long time. Shinyanian. He muttered the name softly, a glint of interest in his eyes. His deskmate leaned in. Tinga, have you seen it? That Shinyanian also killed a chi condensation beast. Many people are comparing you two. Who is stronger? Who is stronger? Chu Tinga put down his phone, a slight smile curling at his lips. We will find out after a fight. He paused, a fighting spirit igniting in his eyes. In a few days, the Linshire government will hold a friendly match. He will definitely be on stage. The next noon, after a busy day, I shot a shadow rabbit with a pebble, only to find I had no more space. The spatial backpack was completely full. I dragged 2 large corpses with each hand, and tucked 3 small beasts under my arms. 21 in total. I counted my spoils. 24 hours. Averaging 1 per hour. The efficiency was a bit low. I just did not know why. The deeper I went, the fewer beasts there were. In the last 5 hours, I only found 1. When I dragged the 5 beast corpses out of the secret realm, everyone at the exit stared at me. The receptionist, who had been watching a show, looked up at the commotion, first glancing casually. Then her eyes widened. Her bubble tea fell to the ground. Did I see that right? The receptionist rubbed her eyes vigorously. Checked again. She was not mistaken. At the secret realm entrance, a young man in a torn battlesuit, covered in bloodstains, dragging a beast in each hand, both larger than him, with 3 small beasts tucked under his arms. He looked like a moving pile of beasts. I walked to the front desk and tossed the beasts out of the spatial backpack. Come on, count the haul. You killed all of these. The receptionist's voice trembled. I smiled brightly. Yeah, lucky. Ran into a few and took them out. She looked at the pile of corpses behind her, her mouth twitching slightly. A few. This is what you call a few. And why is there a chi condensation beast among them? Linshire no. 3 E-rank secret realm had been developed for over 10 years. Beasts were low level and well hidden. Normally, an ability user would go in for a day and kill 2 or 3 at most. Never had anyone dragged out over 20 beasts at once. She had worked the front desk for 3 years and had never seen this. According to regulations, 1/10 must be handed over as the secret realm usage fee. After the staff assessed the value, they took away 2 beast corpses. The fee was settled. Welcome back anytime. I leaned my elbow on the counter. Do you have a delivery service? She politely replied, no delivery service, but we do have a premium recycling service. I nodded and did not ask further. Premium recycling was everywhere. The official recycling price was not much different, but would not exceed market price. Selling to the secret realm was worse than selling to biting heavy industries. At least I could use the Supreme VIP card. I was not afraid of the trouble. I called a delivery truck, loaded the beast corpses, and left the secret realm. At the entrance of biting heavy industries. Back up, back up. Good. Unload here. I directed the workers to unload. The beast corpses piled up like a small mountain, attracting countless onlookers. Who is this kid, killing so many beasts? Look at the chest of his battle suit. It is torn to pieces. How intense must those battles have been? How much would this pile of beasts sell for? I ignored the stares and walked straight into biting heavy industries. As soon as I entered, I saw the familiar attendant. Hey, I am back. Remember me? The attendant saw me covered in blood, paused for a moment, then put on a smile. Sir, you are back. How can I help you? Selling goods. What kind of goods? I pulled her outside and pointed at the beast corpses on the ground. Selling beast corpses. The attendant saw the pile of corpses. Her smile froze instantly, because she spotted among them the corpse of a Black Ridge spear-throwing ape. Though its jaw was shattered, the unique aura of chi condensation could not be faked. This is a chi condensation Black Ridge spear-throwing ape, she said in disbelief. I had my hands in my pockets. Yeah, took it out casually. Took it out casually. The attendant took a deep breath. Her look at me completely changed. Having been in sales for years, she knew too well what this meant. Solo killing a chi condensation beast was definitely a monstrous genius. Please wait a moment, I will get the manager. Her attitude was 10 times more sincere. Wait, I stopped her. My friend is a Supreme VIP. The price. The attendant immediately understood. Do not worry. The recycling price will be at Supreme VIP standards. We will not shortchange you. Soon the manager brought an appraiser to assess and price the beast corpses. 19 beasts. A chi condensation first layer Black Ridge spear-throwing ape. 2 body tempering 9th layer. 5 body tempering 7th layer. The rest were body tempering 3rd to 4th layer. The manager looked at the appraisal report, paused for a moment, then gave a figure. Valued at 3,100,000. Can offer 3,500,000. Would you accept? I quickly did the math. 3,500,000. An extra 400,000 added. Not only did I make back the equipment cost, I also earned over 1,600,000. Deal. I nodded without hesitation, watching the extra 3 million in my card balance. I was in a great mood. Yesterday's hard work was not in vain. I immediately contacted Chen Nanshu. Send me your account number. After getting her account number, I transferred the money I owed in one go. Soon, the cat avatar sent a message. Why did you transfer an extra 100,000? Please accept the payment. I smiled. It is a thank you gift. Why did she send it back? I said I would pay you back when I made money. The extra is interest. If you do not accept, you are looking down on me. Chen Nanshu was silent for a few seconds. Where did you get so much money? Did you not see my social media post? I went into a secret realm and killed over 20 beasts. And used your VIP card at Biting Heavy Industries. Sold them for a good price, smug. The cat avatar was silent again. Finally replied with 2 words. Alright. I looked at the ellipsis and could not help laughing. This girl is still so dazed. I put away my phone, turned and walked back into Biting Heavy Industries. With the debt paid off. Time to spend. Money only has meaning when spent. During combat, I realized my use of the blade was completely unorthodox, relying only on brute force. I could not bring out its advantages, so I decided to buy a blade technique, called over the familiar attendant, and headed straight to the martial arts area. Entering the martial arts section, all kinds of martial arts were dazzling, each sealed in a glass display case, with its rank and price labeled. Recommend me a C-rank martial art. The attendant scanned the area, and led me to a display case. Pure Yang Demon Slaying Saber, C-rank martial art. This blade technique is extremely firm and yang, overwhelming opponents with a mighty blade momentum. Created by the 6th seat of Rihang, a demon slayer. After observing the Golden Crow, later refined and finalized by Rihang, I grew more satisfied the more I heard. I naturally preferred a style of open combat and head-on confrontation. It was practically tailor-made for me. I checked the price. 1,350,000. My mouth twitched. 1 C-rank blade technique. Cost 1,350,000. Poor for literature, rich for martial arts. The ancients were not wrong. The time cost was the hardest part. Ability users without enough comprehension would not even get close in 1 or 2 years. No wonder so many martial arts class students knew martial techniques, but very few truly learned martial arts. But I swiped my card and took the Pure Yang Demon Slaying Saber home. At home, I showered and changed, sat on the sofa, and called up the system panel. Host Shinyanian. Realm Body Tempering 9th Layer. 92%. Passive Skills Combat Master. Unfair Advantage, Golden Finger. Cold Gleam, Dark Hand, Life Magnetic Field. Arm Wrestling Champion, Rain God's Blessing. Arm Wrestling Champion, Rank Blue. When arm wrestling with someone, your strength can be infinitely amplified. Rain God's Blessing. Rank Red. When it rains, your comprehension greatly increases. The heavier the rain, the higher the comprehension. Killing 21 beasts in the secret realm. My realm climbed all the way, from 7th layer to 9th layer. In less than a day, anyone who had trained for years would vomit blood and anger on the spot. Unfortunately, killing body-tempering beasts barely increased my cultivation. Otherwise, I would have broken through 10th layer long ago. Everything was ready, just waiting for rain. The weather forecast said tonight, Linshire would be hit by a super typhoon. Time flew by. Dripping sounds came from outside. Raindrops fell from the sky. I sat cross-legged, opened the Pure Yang Demon Slaying Saber. It is raining. Rain God's Blessing should take effect now. Those obscure and difficult blade paths became much clearer. Before, there was a thin mist. Now the mist had cleared. Everything was transparent. Combined with combat masters, superior learning talent, my mind processed at an unprecedented speed. Every page of the manual I read, the moves were automatically broken down in my mind, simulated and practiced. I did not even need to move, just running through it in my head. I grasped 70 to 80% of it. This comprehension boost is terrifying. I excitedly stood up, grabbed my blade, and headed straight to the rooftop. The rain grew heavier. From a downpour to a typhoon storm, the rain hitting me did not matter. My mind grew clearer instead. The complex moves of the manual were obvious at a glance. Drawing the blade. Starting stance. I swung the blade in the rain. The blade cut through the curtain of rain. My movements went from awkward to smooth, from smooth to skilled. Raindrops were severed by the blade aura, exploding into mist in the air. With every swing, carrying a firm and yang aura, I was completely immersed in the world of blade techniques. From the first stance to the last, then back to the first, repeating over and over without tiring. Combat Master's super talent, plus Rain God's super comprehension. Under the dual enhancement, my understanding of Pure Yang Demon Slaying Saber improved at an incredible speed. An ordinary ability user would take at least a month to get started, and 2 to 3 years to reach minor success. But I used just one night to reach great success. When dawn broke on the horizon, the rain finally stopped. I sheathed my blade and stood still, drenched from head to toe. Great success, I said softly, a smile curling at my lips. In just one eye, GHD, I had trained Pure Yang Demon Slaying Saber to great success. Unfortunately, the typhoon only lasted one night. If it had rained a few more days, I might have reached perfection. Martial arts realms are divided into 4 stages. Entry level, minor success, great success, perfection. Most martial artists spend their entire lives and may never reach perfection. But I used one night to reach great success and was still not satisfied. If other ability users heard this, they would dissect me on the spot to see what I was made of. They spent 2 to 3 years to reach great success. I did it in one night and still complained it was not enough. Was I just looking for trouble? I stretched broadly and was about to go inside and change when my phone suddenly rang. The caller ID showed Principal Zheng Honyuan. Good morning, Principal. I answered the phone lightly. Yanian, are you free today? Yes, I am free. What is it? Then come to the City Ability Association. About your ability rank assessment. You need to come in person to go through the process. I was stunned for a moment. Ability rank assessment. Oh right, the principal mentioned it last time. That cold gleam disguised as an ability needed to be formally recorded and ranked. I did not expect the notice to come so soon. Alright, I will be right there. I changed into clean clothes and took a taxi straight to the Linshur Ability Association. When I arrived at the association building, I found Zheng Honyuan already waiting in the lobby. You are here. He looked me up and down, a hint of satisfaction in his eyes. Good spirit. I heard you also killed a Black Ridge spear-throwing ape. I smiled. Just luck, just luck. Luck. He stared at me for 2 seconds. Solo killing a chi condensation beast is not something you can do with just luck. I chuckled, but did not deny it. Alright, let us go. Let the professional instruments assess it. Zheng Honyuan led me into the evaluation room, filled with precision instruments. Several staff members in white coats were calibrating the equipment. After a morning of testing, the results finally came out. B-rank ability cold collapse. Zheng Honyuan read the assessment report, nodding with satisfaction. How about it? I came up with the name. Is it fitting? I gave a thumbs up in praise. Cold air invades, spirit energy collapses. Cold collapse, a great name. Comprehensive rating B-rank ability. But the effect is S-rank. Zheng Honyuan put down the report, looking at me with more curiosity. To be honest, in all my years as vice president, I have never seen an ability that only affects living beings before. I smiled but said nothing. After all, it was not an ability at all, but a passive skill. The reason I called you today is not just for the rating. Not for the rating. Then what else? I was a bit confused. Zheng Honyuan patted my shoulder. In a few days, the Linshur government will hold a citywide Senior 3 friendly match. Each school will send 100 students. I hope you will participate too. Friendly match. I blinked. Yes. Zheng Honyuan said seriously. This match is not just for sparring and exchange. Students who perform well will receive cash rewards from the government, and key universities will give discretionary recommendation slots. I nodded like a pecking chicken. I will participate. I must participate. I will bring back first place to bring glory to the school. I am not the kind of person who does it for the money. Zheng Honyuan was silent. There were 21 days until the college entrance exam. Linshur People's Gymnasium was now packed to capacity. The venue, which could hold nearly 10,000 spectators, was completely full. The stands were a sea of people. Not only teachers and students from 5 high schools, but also many citizens had come. After all, this was a government-led friendly match and an annual event. In the center of the gymnasium, 10 arenas had been set up, surrounded by high-definition cameras. This was a live-streamed event. All of Linshur's citizens could watch the top young generation's showdown in real-time online. Welcome to the Linshur People's Gymnasium. The host's powerful voice echoed throughout the stadium, accompanied by rousing background music. The atmosphere on site was instantly ignited. Gathered here at this moment are the most outstanding young talents of Linshur. They come from Linshur High School, Linshur No. 1 High School, Linshur No. 2 High School, Linshur No. 3 High School, and South China Martial Arts Affiliated Experimental School. Each time a school name was announced, the stands erupted in deafening cheers. Each school sent 100 outstanding students to compete, 2 by 2, drawing lots for matchups, ultimately determining the strongest student of this year. Students can go all out in battle. Professional referees will step in when necessary to stop the fight. The host paused, then suddenly raised his voice. And so, the whole arena erupted. But while everyone was cheering, in the Linshur Senior 3 exclusive viewing area, one person stood out with a completely different vibe. I sat cross-legged, on a chair in the rest area, holding a cup of iced happy soda, sipping it leisurely. The students around were either cheering or discussing who was stronger. Only I looked like I was on a spring outing. My face written with 4 big characters. None of my business. Hey, this is the viewing area, not the contestants' rest area. Just then, a boy from Linshur High School came over. Bro, which school are you from? I took another sip of cola, without even looking up. Linshur No. 3 High School. The boy's eyes lit up. Which arena is your school's Chu Tiango on? My classmates and I want to go watch. I heard he awakened B-rank thunder punishment. He should be pretty strong. I raised an eyebrow and put down the cup. You would not know this. I lowered my voice. Our school's strongest is actually not Chu Tienga. Huh, not Chu Tienga. Then who could it be? I slowly took out a soda cracker, broke off a piece and handed it to him. Continuing. Let me tell you secretly. Actually, our school's strongest person is called Shinyanian. Chu Tienga is just the #1 on the surface. Thanks. The boy took the cracker and thanked me. Half convinced. Really? You think? I said seriously with a straight face. That Shinyanian is the school's secretly cultivated seed player, specially prepared for the Kyoto University entrance exam. The school usually keeps him hidden to make a stunning debut at the critical moment. You get what I mean? The boy was completely fooled. Just as he was about to ask more, the broadcast suddenly rang out. Linshur number 3 High School, Shinyanian, versus Linshur High School, Lurinjia. Please move both contestants to Arena No. 6. Repeat. Please move both contestants. The broadcast echoed through the entire stadium. I clapped my hands and stood up, tossing the empty cola cup into the trash, waving at the stunned boy. Come on, let us go watch together. What is going on? The boy had nothing better to do anyway, so he followed behind me, walking toward Arena No. 6. I rested my hands behind my head, my pace leisurely. By the way, what level is that Lurinjia from your school? Mentioning the name Lurinjia, the boy's face stiffened, his steps noticeably faltering, his voice unconsciously lowered. He is strong. Oh, I stopped and looked back at him. He is ranked 51st in our school. The boy's voice trembled. And Lurinjia is a terrifying person. I noticed his abnormality and squinted slightly. Do you know him? The boy nodded with a bitter smile. Who in our school does not know him? Lurinjia, in the school, loves to challenge others the most. He always goes very hard. Those who lose to him almost never come out unscathed, either broken arms or broken legs. In severe cases, they are seriously injured and sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. Does the school not do anything? They cannot control him. The boy shook his head. Every time something happens, his mother steps in to cover it up. Then he returns to school to find others to challenge. The boy paused, looking down at his left leg, his voice bitter. Not afraid to tell you. He also broke one of my legs once. I was silent for a second, then grinned, showing a row of white teeth. Quickly use your connections. Call everyone you can. Arena No. 6. If you cannot make it, watch the live stream. You guys are in for a good show today. The boy was stunned. Why? Because someone is pissed off today and wants to break Lurinjia's limbs. I smiled, my tone light, as if saying the weather was nice. What do you mean? Do you still not get it? Today on the arena, Shinyanian will be on the arena and break Lurinjia's limbs. The boy's eyes widened. How is that possible? Your school's Shinyanian has no grudge against him. Why would he suddenly break Lurinjia's limbs? You would not understand this. I turned and winked at him. Shinyanian and I are very close. We grew up together. I will say a few words to him. He will definitely find Lurinjia annoying. Stop the nonsense and go call people. Without waiting for the boy's reaction, I stepped straight onto Arena No. 6. The boy stared blankly at my back, suddenly realizing something. His pupils contracted sharply. Wait, could you be? Both contestants were already in position on the arena. On the other side of the arena, a tall, sturdy boy stood there, a mocking smile on his face. Lurinjia crossed his arms, looking down at me from above. So you are Shinyanian. He grinned, showing a set of stark white teeth. Do you think breaking an arm or breaking a leg would be better? I stood opposite him, casually rotating my wrists. Well, break both. That would be more symmetrical. What do you think? Huh, alright. Lurinjia chuckled. Since you want both broken, I will grant your wish and give you some pain. You have it wrong. I was talking about breaking yours. I scratched my head. He was stunned by this, then laughed in anger. Heh, you are the first one to say that when you went after your classmates. Did you ever think? I cracked my neck, making a crunching sound, that one day your own limbs would be broken in the same way. Anyway, you can pay to get them fixed. So it does not matter, right? The students of Linshur High School have suffered at your hands quite a bit. Lurinjia's face darkened instantly. This was a live-streamed match. My words had already been broadcast. Shut up. The online comments exploded. What is Shinyanian talking about? Do they know each other? Requesting decryption, I do not understand. The person upstairs does not know. Lurinjia is notorious at Linshur High School for his ruthlessness. Broken arms and legs are common. Really, although injuries are inevitable in sparring, this is too despicable. Lacks martial ethics. Requesting a thorough investigation. Investigate Linshur High School. Investigate. +1. The referee on the arena saw both sides, full of gunpowder, raised his right hand and swung it down sharply. Begin. The moment the words fell, Lu Renjia's body shot out like a cannonball with astonishing speed. The arena floor beneath his feet was cracked by his push. In the blink of an eye, he was in front of me, his right fist carrying a sharp whistling sound, aimed straight at my face. This punch had a tricky angle, and there was no holding back. For an ordinary body tempering 7th layer, it would be enough to take them out of the fight, but I did not even lift my eyelids. My body shifted slightly, as if predicting the attack route in advance. Then, in a casual turning and touching head motion, I dodged the powerful punch. Lu Renjia's punch missed. His expression changed slightly, but he reacted quickly. His other elbow swept horizontally. This time I did not dodge. I raised my hand slightly, and easily caught his elbow. Decent power, speed is alright, I commented, as if evaluating a dish. But that is about it. Time to end this. A sudden sense of dread rose in Lu Renjia's heart. The next second, I flipped my wrist, reversed my grip on his arm, and twisted it violently. A crisp crack of bone sounded. Lu Renjia's right arm bent at a grotesque angle, distorted and deformed. The searing pain shot through his body like an electric current. He could not help letting out a scream. But this was not over. I released his arm, and followed up with a sweep to the back of his knee. Lu Renjia's legs buckled, nearly collapsing onto the arena. Then I raised my leg. A swift and clean roundhouse kick struck his supporting leg. Another crack of bone. Lu Renjia crashed to the ground. His right arm and left leg both bent unnaturally. The pain made his screams hoarse. The whole arena fell silent. Everyone stared blankly, their minds blank. What happened? It is over. From the referee's call to the fall, the entire process took less than 3 seconds. From start to finish, I only used 2 moves. Twisting off one arm, kicking off one leg. Clean and crisp. No dragging. On the stands, the Linshire High School students, who had been bullied by Lu Renjia, all widened their eyes, their mouths open wide enough to hold an egg. That arrogant and domineering Lu Renjia was just taken down like a chicken, crippled in 3 seconds. The referee was stunned for several seconds. Before reacting, he hurried forward to check the injuries, and waved to the audience, signaling the medical team to come up. At the same time, he raised my hand high. Winner, Linshire No. 3 High School, Shenyanian. The audience was silent for a moment, then erupted in deafening cheers. I stood on the arena, and grinned at the stunned boy in the audience, giving him a thumbs up. I told you, Shenyanian and I are very close. After the first match ended, I had just stepped off the arena, when I was surrounded by a group of students. Holy crap, big bro, you are too fierce. That bastard Lu Renjia was taken down in 2 moves by you. You are amazing. Can I add you on WeChat? What is your ability, big bro? How are you so strong? I was surrounded by these enthusiastic students, and barely managed to squeeze out. Back in the contestants' rest area, I continued like a street wanderer, going to the audience to inspect the contestants. Half an hour later, the broadcast rang. Linshire No. 3 High School, Shenyanian, versus Linshire No. 3 High School, Li Boliang. Please move both contestants to Arena No. 2. Repeat. Please move both contestants. I paused with the cola halfway to my lips, a sly smile curling at the corner of my mouth. Li Boliang. What a coincidence. I had not even gone to find that guy, but the draw had directly delivered him to me. On the other side of the contestants' area, Li Boliang's face looked worse than if he had swallowed a fly. He also did not expect to draw me. In the second match, if it had been before, he would have been thrilled to publicly crush me under his foot. That image alone was exciting. But now, I had taken down Lu Renjia in 3 seconds. He remembered the details of the match clearly. What kind of person was Lu Renjia? Ranked 51st in Linshire High School. Body tempering 6th layer, ruthless in his attacks. He was not even sure he could win against him. But Lu Renjia was easily crippled by me. In just 2 moves, Li Boliang clenched his fists, took a deep breath, his face dark as he walked toward Arena No. 2. No, he did not believe it. He absolutely did not believe I could become this strong. It must have been a fixed match. Lu Renjia was helping me build hype. That must be it. Otherwise, with my body tempering 5th layer, I could not possibly have beaten him. As for the chi condensation beast, it must not have been killed by me either. He must have hired an ability user to help. I just got a lucky assist, and posted it to social media, just to show off. Yes, that must be it. The more Li Boliang thought about it, the more certain he felt. His steps regained their arrogance. On the arena, the two stood facing each other. Li Boliang looked at my lazy expression, and snorted coldly. Shenyanian, do not think I do not know. That chi condensation beast was helped by someone else. Right. How dare you post it on social media? I was going to listen to what nonsense he could come up with. But that was all. I helplessly picked at my ear and sighed. Are you done? You. Li Boliang was furious at my attitude, his face turning red. If you are done, then fight. Do not waste everyone's time. I kept my hands in my pockets. not even bothering to take a fighting stance. Li Boliang was trembling with rage, gritting his teeth. Fine, since you are asking for death, I will grant your wish, and show you true strength. He activated his spirit energy, and used his ability, Steel Body. A gray-black metallic luster covered his skin. His muscles bulged to size. His whole body like an iron tower. The match has not started yet. Please deactivate your ability. I waved casually. It is fine. Referee, his ability just makes him harder to hurt. It does not matter. Seeing that I did not mind, the referee did not say anything else, and swung his arm down. Begin. The moment the words fell, Li Boliang could not even react. Before he felt a massive force hit his chest. His whole body was like being hit head-on by a high-speed truck. His feet left the ground. He did not even see my movement. His large body turned into a blur and flew straight off the arena, crashing headfirst into the audience seats. The whole arena fell silent. I still had my hands in my pockets, my stance unchanged. The only difference was, my right leg had just returned from midair. I kicked once, just one kick, and that Li Boliang, who had activated Steel Body, was sent flying like a ball. The referee was stunned for a long time. Before reacting, he quickly ran to the edge of the arena to check on Li Boliang. He was embedded in the seats. His eyes rolled back, foam at his mouth, completely unconscious. The referee swallowed and announced the result. Match over. Winner, Lyncher number 3 High School. Shinyanian. Silence for a moment. Then instant chaos. Who exactly is this Shinyanian? I did not even react. And the match was over. Was that guy who flew out just here for laughs? Kicked off in less than a second. Like a stray dog on the road. Do you not know? Shinyanian's last match was also over in a few seconds. That is too fierce. I am a fan now. Both from number 3. How can the gap be this big? On another corner of the audience, the Lyncher high school boy I had fooled now had his mouth wide open, staring blankly at the arena, at the figure with his hands in his pockets. He finally understood that what I had said seemed to be true. He had run into a hidden big shot. In the following matches, I became a bulldozer, crushing everything. Top 62. My opponent was from Lyncher No. 1 High School, a body-tempering 7th layer student. That student had clearly studied my first 2 matches. As soon as he stepped on the arena, he assumed a full defensive stance. His fists clenched, his expression serious, as if facing a beast. But it was useless. I did not even make any extra movements. Just a casual kick. The student could not even hold his defensive stance. His whole body was like being hit by a giant hammer, and flew straight off the arena, tracing a beautiful parabola through the air. But that student was prepared. He rolled in midair, and landed steadily outside the arena. The referee announced, winner, Shinyanian. Top 32. I met a somewhat decent opponent, ranked 7th in Lyncher No. 2 High School, body-tempering 8th layer, specializing in speed-based tactics. That student was indeed fast, leaving afterimages on the arena, trying to confuse me with high-speed movement. But with Combat Master, my combat instincts predicted accurately. I sidestepped and delivered a knee strike, hitting his abdomen, knocking away most of his strength. Taking advantage of his loss of balance, I performed a clean back throw, sending him out of the arena. Time taken, 8 seconds. The referee announced loudly, winner, Shinyanian. The audience screamed wildly. The crowd was even larger than before. The roar echoed through the stadium. Even the referee was a bit shocked. 8 seconds, and pure combat technique at that. He did not even use his ability. Just how strong is he? The match reached the top 16. Finally, my opponent made me take it a little more seriously. Of course, just a little more seriously. My opponent was from Lyncher High School, named Lu Rini, the older brother of Lu Rinjia from the first match. Body-tempering 9th layer, B-rank ability rock armor. He said in a deep voice, my father already knows about Lu Rinjia. The Lu family will give you an explanation. They will give the students an explanation, and give society an explanation. His words were not only for me, but more for the live stream audience. I do not care about explanations. I just did not like him. If there is nothing else, let us fight. Lu Rini said no more, and activated his ability. A thick rock armor formed around him, looking like an armored hero. I know you are very strong, but the defense of my rock armor is recognized as the strongest in the school. You absolutely cannot break it. I kept my hands in my pockets, and pulled out a palm-sized knife. Nothing special. A hidden weapon I bought casually at Biting Heavy Industries. Actually, the definition of hidden weapon is flexible. If you throw a 3-meter-long spiked club, you can call it a hidden weapon if you want. Pure idealism. I casually tossed the knife toward Lu Rini. Dark Hand activated automatically. The moment the knife left my hand, it seemed to disappear. Its flight speed was too fast. Visually, it was no different from disappearing. Lu Rini did not notice at all. A knife was flying toward him, but the referee noticed. A professional referee at Chi Condensation 9th layer had perception far beyond that of a student. The moment I threw the knife, his pupils contracted sharply, sensing a fatal threat. Danger. The referee barely hesitated, instantly flashing in front of Lu Rini. His spirit energy surged wildly. His hands formed seals as he shouted, "Triple Rashomon." Boom. 3 dark red giant gates rose from the ground. Each gate was carved with a hideous demon face, exuding the powerful aura of Chi Condensation 9th layer. Rashomon was the referee's signature defense. It was said that 7-fold Rashomon could head-on block a full power strike from a silver transformation 1st layer beast. But the referee seemed to have underestimated the power of Dark Hand. The first Rashomon gate was like paper before the knife, instantly pierced through. The second offered no resistance and was torn apart. Only the third barely stopped the knife, and even then, just barely. The tip of the knife had pierced nearly half an inch into the third gate. The distance from the referee's face was only a palm's width apart. Before it stopped from exhaustion, the referee gasped for breath, cold sweat dripping from his forehead, running down his cheeks onto the arena. After so many years as a referee, this was the first time he had been pushed to this limit. If he had not reacted quickly enough and used triple Rashomon in time, he might have lost his job right there. The audience and online viewers went wild at this scene. Holy crap, what kind of hidden weapon was that? Even the Chi Condensation 9th layer referee could barely stop it with triple Rashomon. No way, is Shinyanian really a high school senior? This strength is just too ridiculous. I report that someone here is cheating. Who recorded that video just now? Post it online. It will definitely go viral. The referee took a deep breath, calming his surging energy, and raised my right hand. Winner, Shinyanian. I walked over to the Rashomon gate, picked up the knife embedded in it, and put it back in my pocket, walking off the arena as if nothing had happened. By then, the top 16 match video had already gone viral online. The video title, High School Student's Hidden Weapon, forces Chi Condensation 9th layer referee to go all out just to barely block it. What kind of monster are these high school students? After the top 16 match ended, amidst the cheers of the whole audience, I walked off the arena. As soon as I stepped out of the stadium gate, before I could even get some fresh air, a group of middle-aged men and women in formal wear, like sharks smelling blood, instantly surrounded me. Student, consider Nankai Martial Arts University. Full scholarship. Our Huazhou Martial Arts Academy. Though a private undergraduate, as long as you come, tuition is free, with a private dormitory. Student, come to Dongxia Ability University. Professors will guide you personally. Scholarship, free tuition, private dormitory. Everything is included. All I heard were offers buzzing in my ears, like walking into a vegetable market. I smiled and waved my hand, with a polite smile. Sorry, teachers. I plan to apply to Kyoto University. At these words, the air went silent for a few seconds. The admissions teachers exchanged glances, the enthusiasm on their faces visibly faded by more than half. Kyoto University, the top-ranked institution in China, only admitting 300 students each year, with over 10 million exam takers annually. The admission probability was lower than winning the lottery. The teachers exchanged looks and silently reached an agreement. Let us withdraw for now. Wait until this kid loses in the later matches, then come back for the leftovers. After all, the quarterfinals start tomorrow. With so many experts, he cannot possibly win all the way. Then, student, you go ahead. We will talk later. The teachers smiled and said their goodbyes, then receded like the tide, disappearing without a trace. I watched their retreating figures, shrugged, and did not take it to heart. The next day, the Linshire People's Gymnasium was packed to capacity. The 10 small arenas in the center had all been removed, replaced by a massive main arena, the size of 2 football fields, surrounded by high-definition cameras, with large screens overhead displaying real-time footage. Those who made it to the top 8 were all top students from their schools. Today, the entire city's attention was focused on this arena to determine the strongest student of this year. In the contestant tunnel, I stretched and loosened up. After receiving the top 8 list last night, I studied the arm wrestling champion skill. Unlimited amplification of arm strength, no upper limit. Coincidentally, this skill could come in handy. I muttered and strode onto the arena. My opponent was already in position on the other side, tall with well-defined muscles, bulging veins on his bare arms. Just standing there was imposing. Shi Jingji clasped his fists and greeted me, his voice steady. Shi Jingji, Linshire High School. Body tempering 9th layer, B-rank ability, strength amplification. I returned the gesture. Shinyanian, Linshire No. 3 High School. Body tempering 9th layer, B-rank ability, cold collapse. The referee stood between them. After confirming both were ready, he raised his right hand high, but just as he was about to announce the start, I suddenly raised my hand. Wait a moment. The referee was startled, and so was Shi Jingji. What is it? The referee asked. I looked at Shi Jingji and smiled. This kind of fight is boring. Let us do it differently. What do you think? Shi Jingji frowned, a look of caution in his eyes. How do you want to do it? I kept my hands in my pockets with a sincere look. Though I awakened an attachment type ability, I am naturally very strong. Strong. Shi Jingji grew more confused. Yes, strong. I nodded seriously and flexed my bicep. So this match will be arm wrestling. The loser walks off the arena on their own. At these words, Shi Jingji was stunned. Even the referee was stunned. Arm wrestling. This is the quarterfinals. And you want to arm wrestle. Shi Jingji was stunned for a few seconds before snapping back, his expression turning strange. I have a B-rank strength amplification. Are you sure you want to arm wrestle with me? I am not looking down on you. But when it comes to pure strength among peers, there is probably no one who can beat me. I am sure. I gave a smug grin. And who wins and who loses is still uncertain. Shi Jingji stared at me for a long while. After confirming I was not joking, he turned to the referee. All right, we request to change it to arm wrestling. The referee scratched his head. After decades of refereeing, this was the first time he had encountered such a request. I do not have the authority to decide. I need to consult the leadership. On the podium, several principals were sitting together drinking tea and watching. The principal of Linshire High School looked at the big screen and could not help turning to Zheng Hongyuan. Old Zheng, what is your school Shinyanian up to? He wants to arm wrestle in the quarterfinals. Zheng Hongyuan held his teacup, feeling a bit uncertain himself, but kept a calm face. That kid seems unreliable, but he never does anything without confidence. Since he dared to suggest it, he must have his reasons. What else could he be up to? Zheng Hongyuan took a leisurely sip. Maybe he really is just that strong. The Linshire High School principal's mouth twitched. Strong. My student has a B-rank strength amplification, an attachment type ability against a strength amplification. In arm wrestling. Is this not looking for a beating? Zheng Hongyuan put down his teacup and smiled. That is not necessarily true. My student has solo killed a chi condensation beast. Can your student do that? The Linshire High School principal was stumped, silent for a few seconds. He waved to a staff member. Go get them. An arm wrestling table. So, under the watch of nearly 10,000 live spectators and hundreds of thousands of online viewers, the staff set up an arm wrestling table in the center of the arena. The host's voice echoed through the stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, the first match of the quarterfinals has taken an unprecedented turn. Shinyanian of Linshire No. 3 High School has proposed to Shi Jingji of Linshire High School to decide the winner by arm wrestling. After discussion, both parties agreed. This will be the first arm wrestling match in the history of this friendly match. The crowd erupted. The live chat exploded instantly. Arm wrestling in the quarterfinals. Has Shinyanian lost his mind? Shi Jingji has B-rank strength amplification. In pure strength below chi condensation. No one should be able to beat him. Shinyanian definitely won too easily earlier and got cocky, waiting for him to flip. Not necessarily. Look at Shun Yinyan's expression. Does he look like someone who would lose? I bet a pack of spicy sticks. Shinyanian gets pinned in 3 seconds. I bet 1 second. I also bet 1 second. +1. On the arena, Shinyanian and Shi Jingji faced each other on either side of the arm wrestling table. Their right hands clasped together, elbows resting on the table. Shi Jingji's arm was covered in veins, a full circle thicker than mine. Just from the build, it looked like a kid. Versus Popeye. The referee hovered his hand above their clasped hands. After confirming they were ready, he swung it down. Begin. The moment the words fell, Shi Jingji's arm suddenly exerted force. No testing. He went all out from the start. The terrifying force of B-rank strength amplification poured out through his right arm. The arm wrestling table groaned under the strain, cracks spreading from his elbow across the tabletop. But my arm did not budge. Shi Jingji's pupils contracted. With that much force, even chi condensation third layer should have been pinned. But the opponent did not move at all. Was this right? This was not right. My arm was like a nailed steel pillar. No matter how hard he pushed, it stayed absolutely still. I nodded and commented. Nice strength. Shi Jingji's expression changed. With a low shout, his spirit energy surged, pushing the strength amplification to its limit. His muscles visibly swelled, veins writhing under his skin, his entire right arm glowing faintly white. The cracks on the table grew larger. The floor also began to crack, but my arm still did not move. Sweat dripped from Shi Jingji's forehead. He was going all out, and the opponent had not even frowned. Was he even human? At this moment, I was also somewhat surprised inside. I had originally planned to use arm wrestling champion to instantly pin him, but instantly pinning him would be a bit rude. So I secretly dialed down the amplification from infinite arm strength to match his current output. Then I realized. This passive was incredibly intelligent. Not only could it amplify infinitely, but it could also precisely sense the opponent's output and automatically adjust to be just slightly stronger, without being too overwhelming. Just like now, I felt like I was using all my strength, just to barely match him. But my hand was slowly inching toward victory. Shi Jingji's face turned purple, his teeth clenched, veins bulging on his forehead, his muscles trembling. He could feel his arm being pushed down inch by inch. He used all his strength to try to pull back, but my arm was like a mountain, steadfast to the point of despair. Damn, still cannot do it. In the end, under the stunned gaze of the entire audience, Shi Jingji's arm was slowly pressed down. Slap. A light sound marked the end. The referee was stunned for a second, before raising my right hand. Winner, Lin No. 3 High School. Shinyanian. The entire arena fell silent, then erupted in cheers louder than any before. The live chat went completely crazy. He actually won. He actually did it. But Shi Jingji is a B-rank strength amplification, and he lost in strength. Are you kidding me? Is this still the world I know? I knew it. Shinyanian must also have a strength amplification ability. He was hiding his strength, winning arm wrestling against a strength amplifier. What kind of monster is this? On the arena, Shi Jingji let go of his hand and stared blankly at his pinned right arm. After a long time, he looked up and stared at me like I was a monster. Just how strong are you? I withdrew my hand and stretched my wrist, grinning. Just a tiny bit, really. Half an hour later, the top 4 list was out. The big screen clearly displayed 4 names: Shinyanian, Feng Zi, Chu Tiange, and Ji Xiaochuan from Huawu affiliated. Lin No. 3 High School alone had 3 spots. This result made all the audience gasp. Is Lin No. 3 going to sweep the top 3? 3 out of the 4 are from their school. Shinyanian, Feng Zi, Chu Tiange. Those 3 are no pushovers. Ji Xiaochuan is in for a rough time. That Ji Xiaochuan is from Huawu affiliated. To make it to the top 4, he is definitely no pushover either. The audience buzzed with discussion. The live chat scrolled rapidly. Everyone guessed who would take the championship. I stood at the contestant tunnel entrance, looking at the list on the big screen, and stretched. Chu Tiange, grade leader. Body tempering 9th layer, B rank, thunder punishment. During the ability test at the training ground, I had seen him from afar, surrounded by lightning, like a thunder god descending. He was indeed quite intimidating. Feng Zi, A rank frost fox. I had heard of her, but had not paid much attention. As for Ji Xiaochuan from Huawu affiliated, I could not even recognize all my own schoolmates, let alone him. To be honest, this top 4 lineup did not put any pressure on me. Not that I was arrogant, but after several rounds of competition, I had gradually understood my own strength. An ordinary body tempering 9th layer was basically just one kick. Even a slightly stronger genius probably could not stop a serious swing of my blade. But I was more curious how much effort my next opponents would force me to use. The host's voice came through. Please invite the 4 contestants to the stage. For the match draw, I pulled back my thoughts and strode onto the arena. From the other 3 directions, 3 figures walked out at the same time. Feng Zi still had her cold and aloof demeanor, her slender figure walking onto the arena. The air around her seemed to drop a few degrees. As soon as she stepped on stage, the male audience went wild. Chu Tiange walked from the other side, his step steady, his gaze sharp, like an unsheathed spear. The moment he stepped on stage, his eyes locked onto me. His gaze held curiosity, doubt, and undisguised fighting spirit. Seeing him look at me, I nodded politely in greeting. Chu Tiange gave a slight nod in return. Nothing was said between them, but a silent contest had already spread, though I was unaware of it. The last to step on stage was Ji Xiaochuan. He looked as ordinary as could be. Not tall, not built, wearing a plaid shirt with messy hair, black-rimmed glasses on his nose. The perfect look of a studious student. He stood on the arena looking a bit nervous, completely lacking the sharp edge of the other 3. I glanced at him and thought to myself, this guy looks like he is here for an exam. But you cannot judge a book by its cover. Someone who made it to the top 4 was definitely not simple. Please step forward one by one to draw lots. The host placed an opaque box in the center of the arena. I was the first to step forward. I reached into the draw box and grabbed one at random. Opening it, I saw the character A. The host took the ball and announced loudly, Shinyanian, Group A. Next, Feng Zi reached in and took a ball. B. The host announced again, Feng Zi, Group B. Then it was Chu Tiange's turn. He stepped forward and reached into the box, took out a ball, and the moment he saw it, he raised an eyebrow. A. The host's voice rose an octave. Chu Tiange, Group A. The first match of the top 4. Shinyanian versus Chu Tiange. After the host announced the order, the whole audience erupted. The live chat exploded even more. The comments scrolled so fast the screen was unreadable. Shenyanian versus Chu Tiange. Is this not putting the two strongest together? How will the rest even be played? The first match of the top 4 is this intense. Love it. Love it. Intense my ass. I bet Shenyanian gets second place. What if he loses? What am I supposed to watch after that? What are you saying upstairs? Bro Nyen will lose. This champion is definitely Bro Nyen's. How dare you bet second place? He has won every single match. Which match did Bro Nyen lose? What are you shouting about? Everyone in the top 4 has never lost either. Anyone who lost would not be in the top 4. Shout, shout, shout. On the arena, Chu Tiange turned to look at me, a slow smile spreading across his face. Finally, I meet you. I shrugged and tossed the ball in my hand. Then you better perform well. Do not disappoint me. After all, being too invincible is also a kind of loneliness. Do not worry. Chu Tiange turned and walked off the arena, his back straight as a spear. The championship is mine. I watched his retreating figure and rubbed my chin. This guy's presence is indeed different. But the more like this, the more interesting it will be to fight. I grinned and walked off the arena too. Half an hour later, the massive main arena was surrounded by a packed audience. The live stream's online viewers had already surpassed 1 million. The commentator's voice echoed through the venue. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the citywide Senior 3 friendly match. The first match of the top 4 features Shenyanian of Linshur No. 3 High School versus Chu Tiange of Linshur No. 3 High School. Let us give a round of enthusiastic applause to welcome the two contestants. Amidst the deafening cheers, two figures walked out from opposite sides. I still looked lazy and relaxed, holding a long sword at an angle in my right hand. The scabbard glinted coldly under the lights. As I slowly walked onto the arena, my steps casual, like strolling through a mall. On the other side, Chu Tiange's steps were different, each step steady and powerful, holding a silver-long spear in one hand. The spear was 1 zhong and 2 qi long. The spearhead gleamed with a sharp cold light. He stopped in the center of the arena, holding the spear shaft with his left hand. His right hand released. The spear tail lightly tapped the ground, making a crisp sound. His whole posture was like a towering mountain. I stood opposite him, the long sword resting across my waist, still in a casual stance. They were separated by hundreds of meters. The referee stood between them. After confirming both were ready, he raised his right hand high. Begin. The moment the words fell, Chu Tiange's eyes suddenly sharpened. Without any probing, his right foot kicked the spear tail. The silver long spear rose into the air, spun once in midair, and landed steadily in his right palm. 6 Harmony Great Spear. Kick spear form. Then he flicked his wrist. The spear traced a silver arc, the spear tip dragging on the ground, his whole body like an arrow from a bow, quickly closing in on me. The spear dragged across the ground, sparks flying in a trail. Then he swung the spear overhead, assuming the drip form. His spirit energy surged like a breached dam, pouring through his meridians into the silver spear. Martial technique, Azure Dragon pierces the sun. Chu Tiange suddenly thrust. The spear tip traced a silver-white trajectory. The next second, a massive Azure Dragon phantom burst forth from the spearhead. The dragon was silver-white, with distinct scales and claws, its dragon eyes burning with fury, letting out a deafening roar. In an instant, the entire arena was shrouded by the dragon's pressure. The Azure Dragon rushed toward me, cracking the ground wherever it passed. Stones flying everywhere. Gasps erupted from the audience. What? It is Azure Dragon pierces the sun. How can he, at body tempering realm, possibly learn this martial technique? This is a B-rank spear technique. It cannot be mastered without years of practice. How can a high school student do this? Such a powerful martial technique. Shenyanian will probably stop at the top 4. What a pity, just 1 step short. Losing to Azure Dragon pierces the sun is still a respectable loss. Wait, no, look. What is Chu Tiange doing? That is not Azure Dragon pierces the sun. His ability is altering the martial technique. On the arena, as Chu Tiange activated his martial technique, his thunder punishment ability erupted fully. Bolts of lightning surged from his body, traveling down his arm to the silver spear, then spreading along the Azure Dragon phantom. The originally silver-white dragon slowly became covered in lightning. In moments, the entire dragon transformed into a terrifying thunder dragon, lightning arcing between its scales, crackling and popping. Ability martial technique, Thunder Dragon pierces the sun. The audience and live chat exploded. What kind of monster is this? Not only did he learn Azure Dragon pierces the sun, but he also fused his ability into the technique. Many chi condensation martial artists cannot do this, and he is just a body-tempering 9th layer high school student. He actually did it. Shenyanian is probably done for. Referee, get ready to save him. That kid definitely cannot take that hit. What are you saying upstairs? Bro Nian has not even tried yet. How do you know he cannot take it? Is that technique really that strong? You do not know anything. Do you even know what Azure Dragon pierces the sun is? Or ability-fused martial techniques? Do you understand the value of that? Let me explain. Azure Dragon pierces the sun was created by Rihang's third seat, Demon Slayer Luo Ho. A B-rank martial technique. Requires extremely high talent to learn, and requires the refinement of pure spear intent. Nationwide, among body-tempering cultivators who can learn it, there are fewer than 100. And on top of that, he fused his own ability. Among body-tempering ability users, he is probably the only one to do it. If you do not practice spearmanship, seeing him is like looking at the moon from a well. If you do practice spearmanship, seeing him is like a mayfly seeing the sky. Is it really that impressive? You would not understand. Just wait for Shunyanian to lose. On the arena, the Thunder Dragon carried roaring thunder, letting out an earth-shaking roar, crashing toward me. I kept my eyes tightly shut, motionless. My long sword held loosely at an angle in my hand, the scabbard pointing to the ground. My whole posture like a meditating monk. The Thunder Dragon drew closer. 50 meters, 30 meters, 10 meters. On the podium, the Linshire High School principal suddenly stood up, activating his ability, ready to intervene. Such a powerful technique was not something an ordinary referee could stop. Wait, hold on. Zheng Hanyuan grabbed his arm. The Linshire High School principal was frantic. His old face flushed red. Old Zheng, is this your student or mine? If we do not go now, it will be too late. Zheng Hongyuan's gaze pierced through the podium, staring fixedly at the figure on the arena. The young man with his eyes shut tight. Wait a little longer, he said in a deep, unyielding tone. The Linshire High School principal was furious, slamming his hand on the table, making the table buzz. Zheng Hanyuan, I am telling you, if anything happens to Shinyanian, I will never let this go. With that, he plopped back into his chair, covering his eyes with his hands, not daring to watch the outcome on the arena. Such a good prospect. Stuck with this bastard. Zheng Hanyuan ignored him, his gaze fixed on the arena. The Thunder Dragon was now less than 3 meters from me. The violent lightning and wind made my clothes flutter loudly. My hair whipped in the air, but I still had not opened my eyes. My breathing steady, as if I was asleep. The Thunder Dragon suddenly opened its massive mouth and lunged to bite me. At that very moment, I opened my eyes. My right hand suddenly gripped the sword handle. The sound of the blade leaving its sheath was like a clear cry, echoing across the entire arena. In an instant, my entire figure vanished from the spot. The charging Thunder Dragon stopped eerily in midair, motionless, as if someone had hit pause. The lightning on the dragon stopped crackling. The wind ceased howling. The thunder about to erupt from its mouth also froze in midair. Chu Tianga's pupils contracted sharply. He could clearly sense his connection to the Thunder Dragon had been severed, like when you sit on the toilet too long and suddenly stand up and cannot feel your legs. Chu Tianga growled in disbelief. How is this possible? Just as his voice fell, a faint trail of blood silently appeared on his neck. Blood slowly trickled down the wound. Do you want to keep fighting? My calm voice came from behind him. Chu Tianga's pupils dilated violently. What? He slowly turned his head. A cold glinting long sword had somehow been placed against his neck. The back of the blade pressed against his skin. The cold sensation made every hair on his body stand on end. I stood behind him, expression calm, my right hand gripping the sword handle, the blade steady at his side, as if the exchange just now had been a trivial matter. Chu Tianga stared blankly at the blade against his neck. It took him a long moment to snap back. His mouth twitched, revealing a wry smile. His voice hoarse as he asked, when? I thought for a moment and answered honestly. Right when your Thunder Dragon was about to bite me. Chu Tianga was silent for a long time, then closed his eyes and let out a long breath of turbid air. All along, he had thought he was strong enough, but now he saw himself as a frog at the bottom of a well. There is always someone better. Heroes are as numerous as passing fish. He opened his eyes and said with a bitter smile, I lost. His voice was not loud, but through the audio equipment, it was clearly broadcast to the entire venue. The air seemed to freeze for a second. I slowly sheathed my longsword. The sound of the blade clicking into place was crisp and clean, but the moment the blade fully returned to its sheath, the Thunder Dragon, frozen in midair, suddenly showed a terrifying blade mark. The mark ran through its entire neck, as if cut by something incredibly sharp. Then a second mark appeared, from the head all the way to the tail. A third, a fourth, a fifth. Countless blade marks burst forth, all over the Thunder Dragon's body, from head to tail, from claws to scales, covered in dense, overlapping cuts, as if countless invisible blades had struck its entire body at the same instant, lasting only a moment. The entire Thunder Dragon collapsed. Thunder fragments scattered like fireworks. exploding and dissipating into the air. In the flash of lightning, the figure of me, standing with sheathed blade, looked like an unshakable deity. The referee stood frozen for a full 10 seconds. Before snapping out of his shock, he swallowed hard and glanced between the two several times, before slowly raising my right hand. Winner. Shinyanyan. The entire venue was dead silent for 3 full seconds. Then a tidal wave of cheers swept through the stadium like a tsunami. Talk now, haters. Bro Nyen did it. Amazing. Bro Nyen is amazing. If you are not awakened, seeing him is like looking at the moon from a well. If you are awakened, seeing him is like a mayfly seeing the sky. Shinyanyan is so handsome. I want to have your children. Get lost, you upstairs. You are a guy. What are you shouting for? The live chat went completely insane. Thousands of comments scrolling every second. The screen nearly turned into a white blur. What did I just see? 1/ shattering the Thunder Dragon. Is this even human? Did anyone see Shinyanyan move? I only saw a flash of white light. Did not see it either. +1. Too fast. That speed is definitely not something a body tempering cultivator should have. From today on, Shinyanyan is my dad. Weren't you just saying he would lose? I did not say anything. I was just farting earlier. On the arena, I returned the remnant snow longsword to my waist, turning to look at Chu Tiange. He was still standing there, reaching up to touch the blood on his neck, looking at the blood on his fingertips. He was silent for a while, then suddenly laughed. Shinyanyan. Yeah, I will catch up to you. I paused for a moment, a smile appearing on my handsome face. Catching up to me, that is going to be a bit hard. With that, I turned and walked off the stage. Amidst the falling thunder fragments and the cheering crowd, I waved. On the podium, Zheng Honyuan nudged the Linshire High School principal. Still covering your eyes. The match is over. Time to prepare for the second match. Pan Tianhong did not even look up. Was Shinyanyan saved? If he is injured, I will treat him. The prospect belongs to me. Zheng Honyuan laughed and cursed. Get lost. Poaching right in front of me. Do you have no shame? Pan Tianhong stopped covering his eyes and started searching through his contacts on his phone. I am telling you, I have connections too. Even if I have to throw away all my dignity, I will get him treated. With a bastard like you as principal. Shinyanyan is unlucky. Zheng Honyuan clicked his tongue. You old bastard, do I have to curse you? Listen to who won. Pan Tianhong looked up and listened carefully. A confused expression on his face. Are they crazy? Why are they all cheering for Shinyanyan? Although he lost to that ability martial technique, it was not a bad loss. But there is no need to shout like that. Zheng Honyuan grinned. You think only Chu Tiange has talent. Shinyanyan made it to the top 4. His talent cannot be that bad. Pan Tianhong was a bit puzzled. Does Shinyanyan also have a martial technique? What martial technique could compare to? Chu Tiange's ability fused Azure Dragon pierces the sun. Zheng Hongyuan's gaze was deep, focused on me in the rest area. He said slowly, at the body tempering realm, there is indeed no martial technique that can compare to Azure Dragon pierces the sun. But what if it is a C-rank martial art? Pan Tianhong's eyes widened in shock. What? You mean that kid Shinyanyan has entered a C-rank martial art? Not entered, nor minor success, but great success. A hint of shock flashed in Zheng Hongyuan's eyes. C-rank martial art, Pyongyang demon-slaying saber. Pan Tianhong stood up from his chair, not even caring that his teacup fell off the table. Old Zheng, name your price. Let Shinyanyan transfer to our school. Zheng Honyuan feigned anger. Get the hell out of here. Go as far away as possible.